welcome back to Run the Block. This is episode 8, titled Far Away. We've been gone for a couple of weeks, or a few weeks, rather. I was on vacation, jet lag, sick, etc. But we're back. We're currently missing one person. Hopefully they catch up, but we'll see. That said, I do want to start and basically explain the expectations for the episode. And also kind of give a little bit of above table, behind the scenes kind of understanding of my mentality when it comes to this game, and also how it connects with the pickup series for Dark Skies 2078. So, at the end of the Dark Skies 2078 pickup series, before I went on vacation, and at the end of this specific game, there was an understanding that Hungry, the fixer, was going to host a night market. As a part of the inception of that, I had put a question to Joe as to which fixers he would want to invite to the night market to be able to operate, sell, and function therein. And Hungry is a, all boats float if, everybody's around, right? Bring them all, let's make it happen. And then these individuals here got to participate in purchases in the same manner as the Dark Skies 2078 crew. And they partook. There were definitely purchases made. Now, first things first, Hungry, after the whole of the night market, which will not be the first thing that we're kind of handling, there's some temporal matters we have to discuss, but after the end of the matter, you'll have 18,000 eddies added to your pool. And the reason for that is you were taking a cut off of everything being sold at the space. And that was the amount that would have been accrued, including your crew here, the Dark Skies 2078 crew, and a figure I had kind of made up for the purposes of NPC buyers. So just take that into account.
Got it.
Then,
good for you, Joe.
The next bit of action that we need to discuss is that the night market actually takes place on the 21st through the 23rd. Now, we all understand that the 20th is a big day for one of us. We're going to handle that matter now. So, Kincaid, first day back to work. You know what time you're expected to be there. You've been doing it for decades. Walk us through because we've seen the Kincaid not currently employed morning routine and kind of startup bit, but what's the Kincaid I'm going into the office and actually doing work startup?
Ooh, I wish I had time to prepare.
If you want to take some time,
he'd be working. I could sort of BS through it. He works in City Hall or some office within City Hall, right?
Near to there.
It's nearby. Yeah, he'd be in the Vice unit early. See, he would have a desk, not his own office, more like a bullpen situation, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be his first time back in
months.
6-ish months, six and change.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there'd be a lot of feelings. It would certainly sting seeing Murphy's desk either not occupied or occupied by somebody else. Because hers would be nearby, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So the thing that you'll notice as you're walking through and moving towards your section of the kind of open format desk situation is that your desk and her desk are still... her desk is empty. It doesn't look like it's been repurposed. But your desk is just as you left it. So whatever stuff you took before leave, that's gone. And you're probably coming in with like a, cardboard box and throwing that back on there, right? But
yeah. There's still the copy paper box full of
for sure
knickknacks and a house plant,
patty wax, and give a dog a bones for sure.
There's so many bones for dogs.
The main thing you notice though is that there appears to have been a lot of turnover. You don't seem to see a lot of familiar faces in the department. There are a lot of younger kids in the department. which to you
Mm.
is strange. You would see that at the head of the space there is, the captain's office, um, and Captain Mitchell opens up the door, kind of looks over at you, kind of gestures with his hand, and then kind of shuts the door. You can see that the blinds on his office are kind of shut, and yeah, his is kind of, it's basically just a glorified glass cubicle.
Okay. Yeah, I'll drop the box on my desk, just sort of take in the scene, but otherwise I'm walking into there.
He Once you get inside, kind of says, "Close the door, close the door." Good to see you back, but word is that there was a possible transfer. Are you taking Bart's offer?
I'm yours until they take me from you.
Oh, good. All right. Well,
Looks like that didn't stand for everybody. McKinnon,
a lot of folks quit.
I wish I had other names ready in the barrel.
Yeah, there was a kind of a bit of a exodus that kind of happened after you and Murphy had what happened to you happen. I won't say it's in solidarity or anything, more in fear. A couple of folks tried to get jobs over with Regina Jones, fixer up in Watson. A couple of folks tried to move into Corpo Center at District 3. A lot of stuff has been happening. We got
And
these
there's
new.
always security work.
Yeah, true. I mean, definitely a lot of corporations willing to take on and
But the
see.
lion's share, they left the police force entirely.
I'd say about a dozen or so. Yeah. Um, and then a few others kind of got the words right on the top of my head. Transferred. That's the one. They got transferred to other districts or other departments. A couple of them went over to Sin, actually. Um, anyway, these new kids are fresh off the force. In fact, we got a few less than we were hoping, but it's been a wild couple of months. Anyway, um, don't worry about the introductions. I'm sure these kids will be happy to introduce themselves to you if they, are interested in even talking to you. As far as caseload goes, I'm going to have you take it easy for about a week. I've got some things I want you to angle towards, and I'll kind of put those things towards you on your desk. But the main thing I want you to do right now, since it seems to be kind of lining up with where I'm thinking we ought to go. Last thing I recall is there was a situation up in Dustin, and it seemed like some traffickers were moving across the Red Peaks to make moves, glitter into North Oak, Charter Hill, and the like. And I believe you got a contact there in Dustin through your friend, right? That's what Murphy was saying. Some guy named Big Toe.
I know a guy. What are they running?
Glitter, and they're moving it across Red Peaks, down into the basin there, south of North Oak. Some of them move it
I
up.
think Big Toe's involved.
Well, there's been some notes that this faraway nomad pack is running protection, or possibly running it themselves. You know how nomad packs are, smugglers through and through.
Sure.
But there's also some reports that it could be the scavs down in the old burnt out apartment Connaught buildings. Could be some rich people, hired, muscle just doing their work for them. Lots of different options here, but details is what I need. And I need someone who can get inside of Dustin, move around a bit, talk to the Nomad Pack, get some information, fuck around with the scavs. What we got from reports is there's this scav guy. He's trying to unite the scavs named Alpha. You heard about him?
Name rings a bell, actually.
Yeah. Some fucking
Any
asshole.
details?
some fucking asshole out of Russia. He's real cock. He's kind of running around and trying to like form connections, form smuggling links inside of Night City. And last I heard, there was a big kerfuffle on the south side in the Glen. Tunnelway that moved from Corpo Center all the way through down to the Glen. Luckily, we were able to get in contact with Militech, who had, control of that said facility, and they locked it down. But who knows what those tunnels connect to? And unfortunately, I don't have the time or the manpower to formulate teams to scout it out. Hopefully, the corporations handle that business. But what we can handle is the borders of Night City. And Dustin seems to be the weak point. It sounds like you're the perfect person to keep an eye on it. Now, I understand you're working with an Edge Runner crew. That's fine. I'm going to keep it off the books. Just go ahead and keep their names off the books as well. And let them know that any actions that they take in the pursuit of this engagement will not be looked upon them as a criminal offense if it moves to the hyperviolence. We got a lot.
Let's not go giving them slack on the leash just yet.
You're the leash holder, so you do what you like. I'm just telling you, if they go shooting the shit out of some scabs or they have to murder some nomads, we're not going to weep.
Fair dues.
Obviously, don't just do it for fun. But if you got to, do what you got to do, action man. I can assign you a partner. I have one in mind. But, seeing as how you're going to be running with an Edge Runner crew, whether or not you're wanting to bring some young buck into that clusterfuck is up to you.
I don't know if I want to bring somebody fresh in on this.
No worries.
Losing sleep. I'm having enough trouble as is. I don't need to worry about some kid.
I'm going to give him your details, and you're going to get his details as well. He can operate as a communications expert. He'll work here in the office then. If you need any details out of NCPD while you're out in the Red Peaks area, I know communications can be difficult. Hopefully you got somebody with a long-range communicator or something of that effect. And if so, just give him a call.
I'll give him a ring.
And
anything else you need worked up?
He'll flick the details for the kid over to you, who comes up in your contact information as Jason Waterman.
Okay.
And very simple, just NCPD badge number for his hollow icon. Very much a cop.
Name doesn't ring any bells if it's meant to.
No.
Okay.
And we'll put a face to it once you meet him in person, but that's not happening yet. He says, nothing much from me. Just keep an eye on your Edge Runner crew. Do what you can to get situated in Dustin and find out what the hell's going on with border crossings.
I'll see what I can do to get you a report by the end of the week.
Appreciate you.
Full disclosure, John, my Discord everything fully froze halfway through that conversation.
Sure.
I don't know if you noted.
I didn't.
Really? Okay. I caught... when I asked if there were any details on Alpha, you said he's a real cock, and that was the last thing I heard.
He's a Russian guy. It seems that he's kind of blending together the Scav gangs, which, again, Scav is a term that's used for multiple small detachments of assholes who do the same thing, and apparently he's trying to unify them. He's been using tunnelways in the Glen to maneuver people into Corpo and out of Corpo City Plaza, but Militech caught wind of it and shut that shit down.
And there were tunnels?
Yeah, and if you recall, there was a mission where you went into a tunnel in the Glen, and there was a Militech barrier that was put up.
Oh, we were not to ever mention those tunnels ever.
Sounds like someone else...
That specific tunnel.
Yeah, it sounds like someone else knows about tunnels.
Okay.
It may not be that specific one.
Fair. Right, just making sure if there was any information that I completely missed due to that. I just wanted to
But
triple check. I'll rewatch later.
you did catch the thrust of whether or not, like the thrust of what I was trying to kind of engage there with that question. Do you wish to tell Mitchell about your tunnel, or
Certainly not.
keep it close to the chest? Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Not yet.
Yeah, zigzag is still to be feared. Got it. Okay, so with that being said, you go through the rest of your day kind of just going through business. Jason Waterman is not present on the day, but when he gets your contact information, if you do give him a call, he'll have a short conversation with you. He seems like a young rookie kid. You think he's probably, maybe 20, mid 20s at the most. It sounds like he has kind of cleared most of the hurdles and is kind of in line to get to detective testing, but he's not there yet. So he's basically a vice rookie.
I would request his file, see how he's
Okay.
performed.
Yeah, you'd actually see
That's not like
when you take a gander at
high
it.
on demand list, but I'd like to see.
It'd be easy to pull, but so when you take a gander at it, it's almost like a carbon copy of you back in the like 50s. Like it's
Oh boy,
young kid right out of academy, and looks like he's trying to get the detective test. No rival to note, but yeah, that's what you get.
that's good.
Definitely don't want to
Lucky.
Bart. Okay, so then the 21st happens. Hungry, you spent the 20th kind of like preparing, and basically as we discussed, it's in the bottom of the mega building, kind of in that open fair area where there's kind of like shops and stuff that are still operating and serving food and the like, but there's definitely like a market space that's been opened up in the middle. And looking at the conversations that we had in the side, that happens. And so, what I'm going to explain for the others is that at some point during the first day, Hungry would have a conversation with Wakako Okada, and everyone here, because of your proximity to Japantown, knows who Wakako Okada is. She's a Tiger Claws affiliated fixer who is very much the kind of like biggest fixer in that area. Zigzag and two other fixers kind of hold a higher tier, but Wakako is the one that's on the ground doing the work. The other three fixers that are kind of bigger names are not very well known on the street level. They're like the fixers. Does that make sense? After that
Yeah.
conversation with Wakako, he would then be approached by another individual and take this individual and her bodyguard into a back room and have a conversation. So for those of you who don't know Wakako, you probably do know Wakako. You just didn't know it. And then the bodyguard is familiar to some players, but probably not to any of your characters. Anastasia. And she is apparently protecting a woman who appears to be a fixer, who you do not know of. Appears to be a small-time fixer. She looks like she's dressed in kind of higher fashion, so maybe like Charter Hill or North Oak, kind of Westbrook area. But yeah, she definitely looks a bit out of place in this throng of cyberpunks. But yeah, they have a conversation in the back room. Meanwhile, Squint sets himself up as a barter, like a barker, and starts selling his own wares and sells a few knives. I believe that Leo, you have a conversation with Zigzag, who is present, and you go to purchase some decks, and he says when he meets with you, "So how's everything going with your fixer?"
No complaints here. Things been going good.
It's good to hear. I do have a favor I'd want to ask you, but I do feel a bit awkward going over Hungry's head.
I mean, it never hurts to ask, right?
I have something I need done, But unfortunately, the netrunner I would normally go to get it done got obliterated last month.
Well, that doesn't sound too good.
And I can't promise you any sense of security or safety if you were to take me up on my favor.
Is the reason that they got zeroed because of this favor?
Similar, kind of attached.
Well, what would be in it for me, I guess?
I hear you have some problems with Kang Tao.
It's a pretty broad term. Troubles.
It's interesting that you say broad term when we're talking about a woman you have problems with in Kang Tao. Bit old-timey, but I get the joke.
Glad you got that.
Lux Lee. And he looks over at his bodyguard, who's like in full Militech, like badass gear. I think we've been introduced to Salt before, and Salt kind of gives a nod, and then he looks back at you. If you want her dealt with, you do this favor for me. I'll put her on a silver platter for you. Dead, alive, however you'd like it. But like I said, I can't promise your safety or security if you do take this gig. And it's a bit more dicey than some upstart exec in Kang Tao.
I'll do it. If you can promise that, and also information on one other person if you ever hear of them.
Drop me the name. And when you say that, he kind of reaches into his like stuff and pulls out a briefcase, sets it down, pops it open, and then hands you a cell phone, like a 2045 like cell phone, old-timey like agent, and then hands you a data shard. And when you look at the data shard, it's kind of a bluish color, but you know what the relic looks like from 2077. It's like that long kind of clear plastic that kind of glows red. This one glows blue instead. But it basically is an Arasaka AI chip.
Okay.
He hands you those two things.
Asta Goldsmith. I'm looking for her.
He, you see him kind of flick his eyes red for a second, and then like seems to record what you just said 10 seconds ago. Like he recorded the last 10 seconds, then he says, "Okay, I'll keep an ear on. I'll keep an ear to the ground. What I need you to do with this, that phone has an AI in it, a old netrunner named Redeye. That data shard has a very good friend of mine in it. I need you to maintain a secure net architecture for them. I need them to be hidden away. They need to be removed from any contact with any subnets. They need to be isolated entirely. If you can do that and maintain that, then I'll do what I can to help you with your problems. If you can't do that, I'll just take my stuff back and put it back in the case."
I think I can make it work.
Great. Be careful with her. She's been through a lot. Not Redeye. Fuck her. She's a piece of shit. But, yeah. Be good to Anika. He'll nod his head and go back to the marketing. Kincaid, you bought some guns. Big Toe also bought some guns, but the player's not here, so we'll just focus.
I bought a gun.
We'll focus on you. So the person who's selling the guns is Dakota Smith, who's a name that's come up a couple times, I think more in the pickup games than here. But if you don't know, Dakota Smith is a Nomad-affiliated fixer who operates in the Badlands. And so she kind of gets some guns from outside of Night City and brings them into Night City to sell to edge runners like yourself. So she hands you that Malorian overture, and she says, you a cop?
Is it so important?
You gotta answer yes or no. If you're a cop, you gotta say yes. You gotta. It's the law.
You watch a lot of TV.
Not really. I was hoping you did. But based on your answer, it sounds like you're a cop.
I'm a cop, miss.
I don't mean any harm by it. And I don't mind selling to you. Sold to worse cops than you. But I have a bit of a situation that has come up. I believe that someone I've hired is a cop. And they might be moving information to someone that...
Did you ask him?
Unfortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to.
See, legally they have to tell you. Please go on.
You see, well, had I suspected, but I'm pretty sure it was someone in my runner crew that I sent out to the north side. Well, Watson, and there was a fucking cop there, an undercover cop in a scav hunt, some asshole named Bart. But based on the details I got on the gig, it seems like they were kind of maneuvered into that situation, and other things were happening that were not related to my gig that might have fucked it up, but fortunately didn't. And it's going to be one of just a couple of people. There was a solo named Anastasia, a nomad from the Andersons named Morgan. Pretty sure it's not her.
I'm gonna go ahead and record this bit of conversation.
Okay.
And I'll let her know. It's like, these are for my personal notes. You're not in any kind of trouble.
Sure.
If you want me to stop, I'll stop.
And I'll go ahead and get you the list of the individuals. It's basically a bunch of Dark Skies individuals. I think okay. Elizabeth is Rem is among them. Other characters, it may not be the case. It might be another media, I forget. But it's the ones who went on the scav hunt gig, the last one. And okay. She says, I don't know which one's the cop, but if they're affiliated with Bart, that's a problem. Bart Jarvis has been a thorn in my side for a few decades now.
Right.
Do you know him?
You want me to track down these other cops? Is that what you're asking me?
I need to know who on my Edge Runner list is the narc. Who's the one that's causing problems for my gigs, because then I'm not going to hire him again. Might have words with him. Might have other things.
Gotta tell you, miss, this is an original one for me. I've never had somebody come to me to point out narcs within their ranks.
Well, I'm glad that you identified yourself as a lawman and also probably mentioned it to, your fixer. It's good to know what you have in your ranks. Especially if they possibly are serving other masters. I'm sure that you and Hungry have a conversation about what's good and what's not. But if I've got a cop in my ranks and they're doing cop shit, well, that might interfere with non-cop shit. It's a problem.
I can look into it if you give me a list. I can't promise you I'll have information you'll like to hear.
She'll blather.
Cops go undercover pretty often, and they end up pretty deep. I'm sorry to tell you.
She'll blather it out. And that said, Jonah, you would have gotten the same information, but we'll move on from there. I believe that... Bear with me here. I believe that covers it for the market area. There wasn't much other activity. You definitely
did get to relish at his carnival barker.
Well, you definitely got.
He went to get water when you brought it up.
You definitely got.
No, I could hear. I was listening.
I know you could hear, but you weren't here. You weren't here for it.
I want to make sure something's very clear. You sold those items. Did you write down the cash for them, Chody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I need you to do is you need to remove 20 eddies per knife because that goes to your fixer. Unless Hungry says you can get it without paying the tab.
Yeah,
I'm happy to pay it.
You'll let him have it?
yeah, Squints can keep his
Okay.
hard-earned cash.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of work into that salesman role.
It really was. It was dumb. It was way too much, but I had
I
fun.
love it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
We appreciate the good role playing and the like. I like when people post like blurbs when they kind of write it out and like like not too long ago the Red Tail one was remembering stuff from fucking a year and a half ago. Wild. Anyway, market's over. Anything else regarding the market that anybody has questions about? Any interactions you want to engage in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Leo would get a text from Hungry towards the end of that night to come to my office.
I'll go when the night's over.
And then when you get there, most people like Chino and everybody's still downstairs fucking with the market, and it's just you and me alone in the office.
Hey, Mr. Hungry, you wanted to see me?
Yeah. Here, take a seat, kid.
I'll sit down.
You want to smoke?
As he starts to light up a cigar for himself.
No, thank you.
I got some information I think you're going to be interested in knowing about.
Okay.
The black-haired lady I spoke with earlier is a fixer named Ray. She was she's the one that set Asta up with her last gig.
I'll perk up in my chair.
And I would do some cyberpunk shit, push some little buttons. I don't know, pictures would pop up like Dustin. Picture of Dustin, a picture of Ray. Asta and a couple other fixers. I think a Scrapper, and I didn't get the third guy's name, but
Right.
Ray had hired these three for simple guard job up in North Oak. They said that they got hit heavily by armed scavs. Came from Dustin. The only surviving bunk out of the three of them got the VIP out, but the third guy says that Asta and Scrapper got zeroed. Or more likely taken back to the scavs haunts in Dustin.
There's a very serious look on my face. Okay.
I know what you're thinking, because if it was me, I'd be thinking the same thing. You want to go and tear that place apart. You can't find Asta, you want to rip Alpha's throat out, I imagine. That's how I'd feel anyway.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I want you to know that I want to help you with that. I don't want you to rush in there by yourself, out of emotion, get yourself killed or hurt. But we can put together a team to go in there and see if we can find any answers.
I'd really appreciate that. Thank you, Hungry.
Yeah. I'm sorry it's not better news, but, there's no confirmation she died. I am assuming she's probably not alive, but we gotta find that out for ourselves.
And any news is better than what I've been dealing with, so I do really appreciate it.
I haven't met with Amanda yet, right? That's something that's coming up.
Correct. That is what the thrust of this session is going to be. That is absolutely correct.
And that's what, like tomorrow in the calendar?
In game time, it'll be the 24th. That's right.
Tomorrow, we're going to meet with the Faraway clan, and I'm hoping that you can join me. I'm going to try to bring everybody along, and while we're there, we'll have our conversation with her, and I got a couple other things I need to talk to her about, but we could do some scouting, definitely get some information on what we're getting into.
I'll be there. Just tell me when.
Anybody else have any interactions they want to engage in before the night market ends? Okay. Hungry. I'm assuming after that you probably throw out a text to people who you would consider, for the gig. I'm assuming that Big Toe is kind of a no-brainer due to his connection to Dustin. Grip being kind of your bodyguard, effectively, as it seems to be the case. Probably also on the market. Leo seems to be important towards the gig. Work with me on how we get Squints and Kincaid here.
Well, for Squints, I mean, I'm gonna pay him.
Yeah, easy peasy.
I just need money.
I'm considering. I think I would open up a little bit about with Kincaid that there's a missing persons case that I need to try to get some information on in Dustin, and if he could join us for the meet with Amanda Faraway tomorrow.
I think I want to set it up a little different and hear me out. Because one thing that I mentioned about Kincaid is that he was at the market, but you knew that he was going back to the force on the 20th. So he, after going to work, came back to the thieves' den. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like it might be a situation where Hungry's like, okay, what the fuck? And then kind of like wanders over to find him,
Counterpoint. You think I'm the only fucking cop buying a big-ass gun in this place?
You're probably the only one that was invited. Night markets aren't a situation where people just wander in and are like, oh, guns, yay. No, you were probably like, Hungry was like, if you're not busy, you can come buy some shit. And thinking you're not going to do anything on it. And then you were like, what's up? Big cannon time.
Okay. Fair. I had considered the narrow list of invitees.
Yeah, I could approach Kincaid at the market.
Hey, how you doing? My favorite little piggy.
You want to talk?
Yeah, I gotta lay off the hamburgers.
Yeah, we all do.
I know you're aware. I got this thing coming up with Amanda Faraway tomorrow. I'm bringing the crew along. Earlier tonight, I got information. We got a missing person. One of my tenants out of the apartment got into some business with the scavs over there in Dustin, and you're probably the best person I know, with your skill set that couldn't figure out exactly what happened to her.
John, is this before or after my conversation with Mitchell?
20th was your conversation with Mitchell. Today would be like the 24th. Yeah, 21st or 23rd, somewhere in there.
Okay. Well, that's just serendipitous. I'll let you in on a little secret. I've been tasked to investigate some of the goings-on in Dustin. I was thinking about bringing you along anyway, since you seem to have your heart in the right place. Give me some details on the missing person. I'll meet you that morning.
Yeah, all right. I'll send you everything I got.
Same deeds that Leo got in the convo upstairs. Basically, it's just going to be, let's see.
Took the job for a fixer named Ray. It was supposed to just be a simple guard job of a North Oak. Asta, Scrapper, and a third punk. Asta and Scrapper got zeroed or went MIA. And then the third guy got the VIP out and finished the mission. But for all they know, they were taken back to the scabs' haunts in Dustin, where they're all congregating.
Asta
and one other.
Asta and Scrapper. Asta seems to be the person that Hungry seems
Scrapper is a person's name, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I thought you were describing someone as a scrapper.
No, that's their handle.
Like an unimportant scrapper.
Nope.
Like, okay.
Also possibly true, but Asta seems to be the person that Hungry is highlighting the most. And I'd like for you to go ahead and either make a deduction or library search roll, your choice.
Deduction slightly. Library search is better, actually. 19 total.
Okay. You're able to pull information on Asta Goldsmith. It does seem she does have some minor kind of, weapons violations. But from what you can tell, it seems that she either lives with or lives in an apartment paid for by some sort of netrunner or proxy. You can just tell, like, being the detective that you are.
There's like a pattern of how the payments are
It
set up.
seems like there's some sort of, like, weirdness to it. And based on, like, just everything that's kind of clicking in your head, I don't know if you and Leo had a conversation about, like, Leo's, like, searching for her. He did mention it to a lot of people.
I don't believe so, no.
So then, yeah, if that was not on the table, because he's mentioned it
to me specifically, I don't recall it coming up.
Yeah, he's mentioned it to fixers, but, like, with that library search, you're basically thinking it's either someone you do not know, but if it's someone that's close to the circle that you're in already, the only person you could think it would be is Leo.
He'd be a starting off point.
Right.
Gotcha. Then,
again, Scrapper doesn't seem to be important or too terribly involved. And then the only information you have on the fixer is that she has a net worth of about 800,000 eddies. So this Ray fixer is apparently balling out of control. Anyway.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'll agree to meet. That just works out.
The group would meet up then at H3, and once you get there, I'll leave it to you. However you want to proceed.
We wouldn't get. Oh fuck! We don't have Big Toe to drive us, huh?
You can. Jonah's here, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Jonah can be here. You would have called him. I asked you if you contacted him, so yeah, you'd have had Grip and Big Toe on the phone like night of, and been like, "Hey, gig tomorrow."
Yeah, I mean, not a lot to talk about. Unless anybody else has anything they want to say, I just want to get in the car and get to the meeting. Pretty sure we're all on the same page. Right? Amanda, far away, wanted to meet with me. I've got some people that wanted to meet with her. Right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but you're going to meet first, so you're not passing out her information or like setting up meetings for her that she's not like wanting to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, Big Toe, obviously driving tank, I suppose?
Yeah.
Okay. So as we described it last time, when you enter into Dustin, you immediately realize that you're going to have to take a back route. It definitely looks as though the Conapps, this area here, I'm sorry, I didn't snap ping. This area here, for those who are not familiar with Dustin, they were corporate apartments that were being built for use by middle-tier individuals that would be kind of close to Charter Hill and would be able to use the kind of luxury spaces there and also kind of report into businesses such as Zetatech, Kuroshi, and I think there's Kendachi have like offices that are a bit more like instead of big building offices, they're kind of more ground level like campuses, almost like the Alphabet or Google offices, and like you can kind of see this is the Kuroshi one, I believe. And then Zetatech's just across from it. But these failed, mainly due to the fact that at the time of their construction, the area in Red Peaks was basically rife with Rap and Shiv. And if you're not familiar with that term, there's a nomad pack known as the Wraiths, who are well known in Night City, who are basically like raiders who fuck around in the Badlands and just do whatever they want, kill whoever they want, take whatever they want. Recently, they got pretty fucked up, though, by the Aldecados and a well-known mercenary on the streets known as V.
Cool.
So you have to sneak in, because it looks like the Conapps are kind of a bustle with scavs. So I'd like for you to go ahead and make a drive land vehicle roll for me, Big Toe.
Gotcha. 20 CS.
So you see the situation, you turn that shit around, you go around the Zetatech offices, you make your way towards the train field, which is this area here, and then you go off-road and make your way up around the way. That make sense?
Yeah.
Eventually you come to the point where you're crossing over the hill. And for those who have never been here, it's like you're out in the middle of nowhere, sand, lots of sand being spun and thrown up in the air by the big truck. It does look like some people are kind of clocking it from the Connaught area. But what you notice is that there is a very large, on the top of the hill, a very large kind of spire that is basically one of the advertisement beacons that you see all over Night City, but it's just out in the middle of nowhere with its advertisements playing, and it looks like you're being clocked by snipers. Why am I being laughed at?
It's not you.
Oh, okay.
We're not
You're
laughing.
not.
Sorry, we're not. We are not laughing at you.
All,
No.
aldecados, not avocados.
The avocado.
Anyway, once you cross over the hill, the more observant of you would notice that inside of that advertisement area, it looks like there are snipers that have been posted up there. And once you come down to the other side and make your way towards Camp Faraway, you would see that there looks like there's a very strong defensive wall and a number of individuals on there with rifles, and it looks like some turrets as well. Eventually, the doors open and Big Toe's truck is allowed access. Inside of the walls, which are not like, they don't look like stone walls, they look like metal, like quick barricades that have been put up and kind of mounted in. But it definitely looks like it's a well-defended, like, it almost looks as though it is a temporary barricade structure around the entire outside of the space. Inside, the tents and buildings are all very temporary looking as well. Nomads are very quick to pick up and move if need be, but it does look like these specific installations have been here for a while. Big Toe, where are you taking them?
I want to kind of like start the meeting right away.
Okay.
So I wanna like put them in like a little. I want to park in a little area where the cars are, obviously. But before like actually letting everyone out, I want to tell them, all right, listen. There is a bunch of shit going on with the scabs. So things are a little heated right now. I'm hungry. That's why we're here to talk to Amanda. She needs your help, and unfortunately, everyone here is going to be dragged into our little mess. So in advance, I'm sorry for that.
It's, I've heard some things about scavs and how they've been operating. I kind of had a notion that might be what it is. Just so you know, and same as I'm gonna tell Amanda, there's a lot of people that want them gone. So you will have allies.
All right. Thank you. And then he's gonna turn off the car and hop out.
When you pop out of the vehicle, folks, it's a very different atmosphere than most of you are used to. If you don't imagine your character has been outside of city, like the city limits, or it's been out in the Badlands, this is definitely a new experience for you entirely. The air is very dry. Even though the coast is right there, it's mainly because of the dust that's kind of just everywhere and very prominent. There's dirt on the cuffs. There's dirt on the bottom of your pants and all over your feet, and it's a kind of deep, dark brown, reddish colored dust that kind of just seems to stick to everything. And everybody you pass by, these nomads, most of them don't look like they're like warrior types. They don't look like they're fighters. You got people who kind of look like they're truckers, people who look like they're laborers, and some of them look like they have guns. But again, Grip, what you're noticing is a lot of them don't look like they know how to hold them. Right? Some people have like, the butt of the rifle kind of like, up in the air, like, not ready for any kind of, use whatsoever. They just it looks like they're very untrained. Although there are a couple that look like they know what they're doing, and those people seem to be walking alongside a woman who approaches you as you kind of walk out into kind of an open area in front of what appears to be a larger bunker or kind of barracks tent. Barracks was the word I wanted, not bunker. We've introduced her before, but yeah, she walks straight up to you, slams her hand across her chest, and kind of looks at you hungry. Good. I'm glad we finally get to meet. Hungry, right? And she walks forward and then offers her hand out.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Shake hand.
She has a very sturdy grip. It doesn't look like she has any cyberware either. So, I mean, very strange that she's, putting that much muscle into it. After the shake, she says, "Situation's complicated. Real complicated. I don't expect you to be fighters for me. I'm not looking for gunners, killers, what have you. Especially against the throng of shit we're going to be dealing with. I know that your strength comes in your ability to negotiate, discuss, coordinate. The problem we have right now is that the faraway Nomad Pack is an amalgam of different groups." She gestures over to a grouping of like the people that I said were truckers. These individuals used to drive for the NUSA military folk. They kind of got bottomed out and bogged out when Kurt Hansen went crazy and formed Barghest. They had nowhere to go. The Wraiths were trying to kill them. Faraways picked them up, brought them in. Gestures over to another group. These individuals used to be a part of the Valentinos, specifically a small nomad pack aligned with the Valentino families inside of Night City. And, well, unfortunately, due to a lot of disconnects and a lot of shit going on inside of the city, which I'm sure you're aware of, it wasn't fortuitous for these individuals, non-combatants mostly, to jump inside the city and try and take a life in something that they weren't even familiar with at all. The Steel Vaqueros is who they used to be called. Now they're a part of the Faraways. She gestures over to another group. Remnants of the Red Ochres, completely fucked over by Biotechnica, using them as guinea pigs. What's left of them are here. Gestures over to Big Toe and some others. Just mostly Big Toe. The Backers, small nomad pack in the south. They came up this way. What's left of them stuck with us. She gestures over to another group. Dirty Hippies. They hung with the 6th Street in Santo Domingo. I hope you understand what's happening here. We've got people who have affiliations with one gang or another who we've asked for help. But because of their associations, of other people's associations with a rival gang, we're not able to find any friends. 6th Street did a favor for us not that long ago. According to Big Toe, some of your folks here were attacked by the 6th Street gangers who were trying to get a message across to him. They want our help dealing with the Valentinos in Night City. Not gonna happen. Obviously, you'd have been the last person I fucking called up if my plan was to fight the Valentinos. As in bed with them as you are. And I wouldn't do it anyways, because some of the people present here have friends and family in the Valentinos. I'm not gonna fight the 6th Street gang for the Valentinos either, because there's some people here that are associated with them. The only thing I can guarantee is I don't fucking like corporations and I'm not going to deal with them. But that doesn't matter here because they left a long time ago. And what they left behind was a very fortified location for these blood-sucking vultures. And yeah, I wish I could just fucking go in there and murder them all, but their numbers greatly exceed ours. It's about 5-1. We need help. And I trust that your group is some hard-ass motherfucking edge runners, but I don't think 6 people is going to be able to scrap with the numbers we're talking about. So, I need you to help me get Valentino's 6th Street. To put aside their differences here and help us. That's what I need. How much am I going to pay you? I don't know. I have no idea. I can promise you laborers to the day you die, helping you build and fix whatever you need. You need truckers, you need something moved, I can handle it. Problem is right now, our routes are fucked. We did some day laborer stuff for the folks up on North Oak, and scavs came out and tried to attack us in the back. Fortunately, we were looking forward to it, knew it might be coming, and our snipers were able to pick them off and force them to be routed pretty quickly. Small detachment of these fuckers. But yeah, that's the situation.
Hey, one hell of a pickle you all find yourselves in here.
We could leave, but most of these folks wouldn't be able to survive out in the Badlands for more than a couple of months. Not without help, anyway.
Yeah, coming in like they have, they've fucked things up for a lot of people. It's not just you. It's better off for all of us, everywhere, if we can get rid of them.
I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of these folks found a home here. Nomads typically don't like sticking around in one place, but again, a lot of these folks weren't nomads by choice, more by circumstance.
I imagine you have some sort of recon, some sort of intelligence about how the scavs are operating. You know, maybe they got some outposts here and there, rather than taking them head on where they're all living. You know, maybe in the meantime, we can have a couple of squads at different outposts, fuck up their supply line, back them into a fucking corner.
Well, I didn't see what you saw when you came in, but with that information, I could definitely give you an idea of what's happening down there. Big Toe, were they mobile?
Yeah, they're all over the entrance.
Yeah.
To me.
So we've been suspecting that they're coming for blood after we shot a few of them up on the hill. Don't know how long that's going to be. Maybe a couple of days, maybe a couple of hours. Don't know for sure. But they got a main hub. It seems like the buildings closest to Charter Hill are the ones where they do their cutting work. They try to drag people back as far as they can. Most of our folks have been instructed to just go ahead and opt out if they can. Not exactly.
Where is?
Go ahead.
Where is Charter Hill?
So Charter Hill is this portion here. That thing coming through.
Okay.
And then these buildings would be the ones that she's referencing, the ones that are closest to Charter Hill. That's where they do their cutting work, is what she says. The main base of operations for these assholes is... it's not the first Conapt, because that's been shoved to shit. The one right behind it. They try and maintain a decent front there. If they were moving around, like Big Toe says, it seems like they're probably just gathering their forces and moving them to the hill. We've got some tricks. If they don't follow the road and they just try to climb the hill, there are isolated mines out on the hill, especially on the upside of it. That could be a problem for them. And if you don't know your route, which Big Toe does, trying to maneuver around it could be problematic. The snipers up on the advertisement post. There are eyes on what we can see. The details we've been able to pull is the Conapt that they've taken as their bastion. It's about 22 stories of hardened concrete, a lot of metal as well. It was built to survive. Wasn't really built to function. They never got to that part. So I believe the scavs have taken and put in generators. They do what they can to kind of make sure that it's livable. Now those 3 buildings on the south side, though, close to Charter Hill, they've got lights. They've got water. It seems they've connected themselves to the utility lines. I don't know how, but they work. So that's why they do their nasty business there, since that's kind of a prerequisite for the deeds. What we have here is mostly stationary. Got a couple outriders who could move you around where you need to go. Big Toe, of course, is at your disposal. And Holly, of course, she can help out as well.
Say I have a immediate urge to see inside of their chop shop. What kind of defense could I expect? And also, I mean, if we did, hit one of those buildings, the rest of them aren't that far away. Is the whole goddamn place gonna go off like a hornet's nest?
Could do.
Yeah.
But
They're like fucking ants. They're all over the fucking place.
If Big Toe's report's right, they're probably moving north, getting ready to make a climb up the hill. So it could be the case that they're just leaving reserves back on the back line. A small group like yourself could definitely get past that. But if they spot you out, they're definitely going to call for reinforcements, and the ones that are trying to make their way up the hill are going to turn around.
I mean, buy us more time here to get everybody on the same page and get ready for a defense.
Not a bad idea. I wouldn't suggest driving the tank, though, Big Toe.
Did you say would or wouldn't?
Wouldn't. Noticeable. Big, clunky. Need something quiet. Yeah. Either on foot or something like a bike.
Oh.
You think you could lead our small team here, Big Toe, back around on foot to the Charter Hill? Ideally, 2 things I'd want to find out. First of all, we got to get in the place. As a missing person, I need identified, and if they're still alive, we need to get them out of there. Second thing, I need to figure out what's going on with their utilities. If they're getting that from the city, something we could cut off and completely fuck up their whole operation.
If you know somebody in the municipal, that would be great. I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm pretty sure that government isn't aware. They're leeching that shit.
Yeah, it's got to be just some makeshift pipe they got set up, something like that.
Like everything they fucking do, it's probably a hack job.
If everybody's willing to do that, I can stay here in the meantime and see what I can do for negotiations. Get everybody on the same page.
This is everybody's here, so I'm talking to all you guys.
Yeah.
I could take something smaller. One of the shitty road bikes that we have out there. I could take one of those.
I haven't ridden a bike since I was a kid. That's gonna be awesome. I am a-okay with that.
Just
It's funny because he is a kid, but
things. If things seem like they're getting dicey or that it's a little bit too much, overwhelming odds, don't do anything stupid. There's no reason for us to rush in there and get killed. Start with recon. If you get an opportunity to get in there and see what you can find out for me. Maybe shut their utilities down. That would be a huge boost to you.
What I will tell you, and it's a situation we've come across before, if they push you back from the buildings into Charter Hill, you're fucked. Arasaka Security holds the wall there, just outside of the Kuroshi campus. Large electric fence. They've got AVs on the ready, as well as drones. Anything moves towards that fence, I think it's within, 10 meters? Something like that. They'll start cutting them down. So just don't get yourself pushed against the inevitables. If you can, try and dip south. Not too much towards the train yards. Mostly just fucking deserted shit anyway, since the trains haven't run for a while. They're supposed to this year, but not without any laborers. Night Corp is over.
Amanda.
Hmm?
Do we have any grenades in stock?
Not that we're going to be lending out for a little night mission. Sorry, we don't really have any resources we can hand over besides vehicles. We can get you road bikes.
I fucking hand you my grenade launcher.
Oh no, I don't need this. I got this, and he's gonna pop out the pop-up grenade launcher and then pop it back. I
Yeah.
just need that ammo.
So he handed you a grenade launcher, so instead of like saying, I don't need this, you can say, I pull the clip out of the grenade launcher and start loading the pop-up launcher.
Oh, that's fair.
The what?
He's got a projectile launch system.
It's got two grenades in
He
it.
pulls the what?
Huh?
He pulls the what, John?
On this, it's actually a clip. Because it's the grenade slotted inside of a small bar that goes inside of it. Got you.
Oh, is that the one that
That's the one that he took into a bathroom? Yeah, it's the same grenade launcher.
Yeah, fuck.
He probably washed it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just surprised it lasted this long.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, definitely.
He bailed out of your car at light speed and shot it off in a car that was chasing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It lasted longer than Johan.
I just carry it with me everywhere now. It's always inside the trench coat. I can't conceal it, so it's obvious that I'm carrying it around, but
Right.
it's too cool not to.
Alright, how many grenades are in the clip?
Like something.
Two.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, ideally, if you can get in and out of there without setting off the alarms on your way out, cause a big fucking boom. But try to get their offense to come back.
This was recon, yeah?
Yeah.
Your first instinct is I better bring grenades.
I mean, I needed just in case.
Fuck, I'll go with him.
Emergency grenades.
They're
Son
emergency
of a
grenades.
bitch, I'll go with him.
My emergency grenades.
They're my safety grenades. They're my whoopee grenades. I gotta have a cuddle grenades. I don't feel safe without
You like
grenades.
Benoit them?
Yeah.
Helps him relax.
Oh.
I can't add it to my character sheet. I don't have access to the journal.
Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. I know what happened. I had to switch the control to staging area so Chandler could build his character.
Oh.
Elizabeth asks, is that a grenade launcher in your pocket? Are you... Class act.
Are you just sexually harassing me?
Either way, it explodes.
Either way, it explodes. Oh, I died. Save content sharing. Hit refresh. Sorry about that. I had to switch over to companion sharing for Chandler to build his character before Tuesday.
That's okay.
And he built a fixer.
Hey,
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
He's a Maelstrom fixer. It's pretty cool. Needed a fixer on the north side for real.
ooh, we don't like that.
No, we do. We love it, actually. It's so fucking rad. It's crazy how many people were like, I want to have Maelstrom connections this section of the series. It's actually really funny. Anywho, you folks are gathering yourselves together. A number of road bikes would be relinquished to you. Now, road bikes are not bicycles, Jody. They're motorcycles.
No, that's the problem because he knows how to ride a bicycle. He's never ridden a motorcycle before, so he's like trying to play it off, and he's gonna fall.
Love it.
Legs instinctually pumping along.
Yep.
It's just like ready to go, oh shit! Okay, so is there anything that you folks want to do on the recon crew before you head out?
I actually have a question.
Fire away.
For my character sheet, do I have to click road bike as in use, or
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
actually the only person who matters for the loan portion. Yeah, you're subbing out your tank for a road bike.
okay? Just making sure.
They're all coming from the motor pool, but you're the only one that has mechanics that allow for it. Far away is the one who's lending them to you, because again, Moto is a very weird ability. It's very interesting when you have a family that's willing to help you with stuff, because like it puts limiters on the narrative sometimes, and I'm like, no, you would be able to get cool shit from your family that's outside of that, I think. But yeah, if you want to get a road bike with upgrades that are per your nature and you want to dump cash on it preemptively, I'm okay with that for you because your ability says that's a thing.
Gotcha.
But everyone else, you just have bog standard road bikes with off trail tires. All right. So, hungry. While they consider that stuff, what would you like to do as you kind of take your position in far away and decide what you want to do?
I'm going to start approaching the different groups. I don't want it to seem like I'm showing favorites, so I'm not going to do the Steel Vacaros or 6th Street first. I'll just like approach the truckers.
Okay, let me go ahead and give you the names of the groups so you have an understanding of what we're dealing with. Because, yeah, it's actually something I've mapped out. Let me change the music here real quick.
Right now in the sheet, I got the Noosa, the people who used to drive for Noosa, the Valentinos,
I'll
and
here,
back.
let me give it to you. Hold on.
Okay.
So the Faraway Nomad Pack is comprised of the Backers, the Dirty Hippies, the Red Ochre, the Red Willow, a minor group of Snake Nation, Steel Vaqueros, and Toe Cutters. And let me go ahead and post that in there, and then we'll walk through them together. Hold on a second here. So the Backers are a mostly smuggler group that Big Toe was a member of. Very few of them are present. I'd say a handful at most. And they're not. They're most of the people who you're seeing that are like nomads. You know, they got the guns and they know how to hold them. They look like they're badass, like, you know, Badlands warriors, right? Like road warriors. The Dirty Hippies are a group that is affiliated with the 6th Street gang. They used to be a part of the Reclaimers, which was a gang that, or a group of gangs that kind of tried to repurpose combat zones during the time of the Red. The Dirty Hippies kind of fell away A lot of their members died in the time of the Red. They started to rebrand themselves as a nomad pack, and they never really became affiliated with anybody besides the Sixth Street Gang, and they would do smuggling work for them. Then the Raff and Shiv hit about half a decade ago, and they got kind of broiled into the Faraways. So they're combat zoners who kind of like grew up with Sixth Street trying to make combat zones better for the normal person, similar to like the Joe Boys in the Glen, and other like reclaimer gangs like that. But basically, they're the people who are like the drivers, right? The truckers. Then you have the Red Ochres. The Red Ochres are not going to be a large group of individuals, and they're basically going to be the most cybernetically advanced individuals. But it looks like most of them are like very downtrodden and very kind of like just beaten down. They definitely have some warrior types, but it looks like a lot of the cybernetics that are present are more kind of laborer cybernetics. So they have some like strong people because they have like linear frames and such, but it doesn't look like they're like combat ready. It looks like they're more kind of like laborer types. The Red Willows. Checking my notes. It's just a small group of individuals who look as though they maybe make up 10 or maybe 20 total out of the 100 or so people that are here. They look as though they are just very it's very disparate. It's like they're not they don't look like they have a lot of skill. They look like they're mostly just like the civilian types. Like they can do whatever, but they're not going to do it as well as anybody else who's specialized. You've got about 5 Snake Nation individuals, and they, along with the backers, kind of comprise the road warriors, or like the kind of like fighter types. The Steel Vaqueros are just civilian folk. But what you know of the Steel Vaqueros is that they were kind of like a hard-ass group that got fucked over in 2076, 2077, early 2077, by a lot of kind of politics bullshit out in the Badlands. And you know this because the Valentinos have been desperately trying to get them back to come into the city. But you know that they have kind of joined up with the Faraways because they don't want that. And then the Toe Cutters are they look like they're hard asses. They look like they're kind of like badass fucking dudes. If you're familiar with Game of Thrones, you remember the oh God, what's the name of the people for the Wildlings? Remember that was like the subsect of wildlings that were like tall, pale, bald white dudes?
Yeah.
They look like that.
So look hard, are hard?
You would know that they are, the ones that you have here are not hard. They fancy themselves as being like hard, and they like fighting in like close quarters combat, but that has no purpose on the battlefield out here in the Badlands. Guns are the winning thing. They have like machetes, like tool axes, all sorts of shit like that, and can fight. They can scrap, but they can't scrap like a nomad can scrap. Like you're not hitting me with an axe if I'm shooting you from like 50 meters out. It doesn't matter. Sure. Range is the name of the game in the Badlands, or you drive away.
Or you drive into them.
Or you drive into them. Yeah, also, yeah. But yeah, the Toe Cutters are kind of close. They're kind of like a mix of like kind of fightery types, but mostly laborer types.
Got it.
All right.
Got it. It is in the notes.
And then you, as a group, can allow for Hollystone to join your group. And as we discussed, she is the driver that flew the chopper out to help you with the Kangtao gig.
Like a badass.
Yep.
Yeah, hell yeah, we'll take Holly in there.
All right. She says, whatever you need, I can run cover. I can run along with you guys. I do know for a fact, though, on some earlier scouting gigs, the main building of the two is the one on the south side. And the fucking corpos that built that shit, they had installed the electronic security system on the doors. So it might be a tough nut to crack when we get there. Hopefully you guys have some... Well, she kind of looks over at your group and then looks at Leo. You'll be fine.
While she's looking at him, I kind of lean over in front of the screen and go, I got it, lady. No problem at all. And then slowly go back.
Wait. Didn't you go up with Grip? She says to Leo. And, like, crack the door?
Yeah, I did. Sort of.
I mean, if you can crack it 4 eyes, then yeah, that's great.
I could do it. Probably.
I could do it, probably. Not like I'm gonna fuck up a camera situation again.
It can't happen twice, right?
Yeah, it can't happen twice. That'd be crazy.
That'd be wild.
Yeah,
What are we hoping to? What are we hoping to glean from this scouting mission?
Looks like.
Yeah. First objective is to try to locate our missing person. A young lady, I believe, might be inside of the facility if we get the opportunity to go in. Secondary, see if we can figure out how they're getting their utilities into the camp. Some sort of makeshift pipe system. I'm sure it'll be easy to disable with a fucking hatchet if we have to. Third objective, if you guys can get in and out without a hitch, not setting off any alarms, on your way out, you cause a big boom, some kind of distraction to bring their forces back from an attack point on this camp.
That's the
I
plan.
think we can make that work.
Seems pretty straightforward.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys are
Yeah,
gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and is that Holly or Molly? It's Molly, right?
Holly.
Molly.
I thought it was Molly because there was an NPC for Billy named Molly Tov, and my brain was like, everyone's Molly. So no, it's Holly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you'll have Big Toe and Holly to help get you there. They know the land. And then I'll be here doing diplomacy, but I'll be on the agent connected with you guys the whole time.
All right. So what I'm going to need from the crew that's leaving, because we're going to get into some conversation with Hungry, obviously. But what I'm going to need from you is 2 things. And it's kind of a group check here, so we're going to kind of work through it together. I need a drive land vehicles check from everyone. And then once everybody has rolled that, I'll tell you what you need to roll next.
How many bikes are we taking?
Total of 6.
All of them.
Okay. We're each driving a bike.
If you want to ride with somebody else, you can. But Holly's bike is pretty small, so she's not taking anybody. She might be able to take Squints. She definitely couldn't take anybody. Maybe Leo. They're both kind of tiny, but anyone else, you're fucked.
Well, now you tell me. I would have picked someone to ride with someone else.
Now, Jonah,
Except Big Toe.
if Big Toe wants to take like a bigger like hog of a bike, because again, you're taking whatever you want from the moto pool, you can do that. Obviously, you can't take a super bike or anything unless you have the rank to do so. But if you take a regular road bike, it could be like a big, like, big bike. So you could put like maybe one person on. And if you want to take a sidecar, I believe that isn't a modification you can put onto the bike. You could take a whole other person. So you could take 3 people on yours if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's the seating upgrade.
Yep.
Well, looks like Kincaid rolled the lowest.
Okay.
All the sand, I can't get any traction.
Okay. So with that, those rolls, everybody's going to be good. Kincaid, you kind of eventually kind of find yourself in the back. That roll was low enough that you didn't fall off the bike. So eventually what happens is you find that following in another person's kind of trail is a lot easier than trying to make out your own way. And you kind of fall to the back a bit. The next thing that I need from all of you is a stealth roll.
It's body.
Correct.
Yeah. Better. Damn, fellas, not bad.
Yeah, doing great. As you're riding out and kind of making your way, you kind of follow a different route entirely to kind of ensure that you're not being kind of caught out. You definitely don't want any law enforcement issues. So you kind of stay on Red Peak, but you head downhill and then kind of make your way along the border of Dustin towards the Charter Hill entrance. But as you're making your way there, you would notice that there is a very large movement of vehicles and people that are going up the hill, kind of almost marching in a single file route. Once you make it over the hill and kind of...
They do that to hide their numbers.
Correct. Once you get over the hill and kind of making your way kind of closer to the Connaps proper, you would hear gunfire. But not Buddha, 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 bang, 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 what you'd expect from a large army like that. Instead, it's the crack of a long rifle. And then a crack of a long rifle. And if you kind of pause for a second, stop the bike and look up that way, it's gotten to like later afternoon, so like a nice kind of like purplish kind of orange, horizon in wintertime. And what you can see is it looks like the scouts or the snipers up on top of the advertisement post are firing down into the space with their weapons. Do you linger to watch a while longer, or do you continue on?
Continue.
Okay. Then you would hear an explosion thereafter, but not see the source of it by the time you make it to the location. I'm going to pause from you guys. We're going to cut We're going to cut back to you once we get to the building proper. But I want to focus on Hungry for a little bit here, since that's not an action that's just happening in a couple minutes. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours ride. So keep that in mind. Okay, so you said you were going for the truckers. Based on what I described, that'd be the dirty hippies.
Yeah, I was confused. I don't want to do 6th Street or Vaqueros.
Okay.
So I'm not showing favorites.
So then,
I guess I'd probably just go up to the fucking toe cutters.
all right. Guy walks up to you. Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to introduce myself to you. My name's Hungry.
Yeah. My name's Bill.
It's good to meet you, Bill.
And I'd offer a handshake.
He kind of like shakes your hand. You see him kind of look at your hand and go, and then kind of like move his hand off you like awkwardly.
Good strong grip. I respect that.
Same. I don't mean this to sound awkward, but you got a tasty hand.
I'll take your word for it. I've never tasted myself.
Well, it looks tasty. I don't know if it actually is. I just, it's not really liked too well here in the faraway camp, but we don't exactly do it to anybody we know or like or anything. Mostly just scav fuckers we get a hold of, but us toe cutters did some gnarly shit when we were out there in the Badlands. We kind of picked up a taste for it. So, yeah. This other guy leans in, we eat people. Yeah, and then he walks back.
Yeah, I get that. We all do what we gotta do in this world. Keep going.
He leans back in. It's better than Scott. And he leans back. Yeah, it is better than Scott, but we don't need to talk about that. Shut up, Frank. Okay, so what do we want to talk about?
I'm just introducing myself, and I wanted you to know that I got no love for these scab fucks either. I'm trying to organize the camp here, and organize a few outside crews to help us with our scab problem. So if everything works out, you could have quite a bit of, meat by the end of all this.
Yeah, as long as Amanda's okay in it. We don't want to cause any problems with the camp. We get a lot of protection here. We like the folks here, and I don't mean in an eating kind of way. We like them, like, for being people.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. You guys got a good opportunity here. If we can get everybody on the same page in dealing with these scares, I see a very profitable future for this place. Someplace you guys can come and be free, and you don't have to worry about all the fucks in Night City bothering you.
Yeah, we definitely got to get rid of these fucking scabs. I mean, shit. It's been kind of hectic. A lot of folks that we know been taken up by them, and also they're running kind of operations with folks in North Oak. There's some crazy wild shit that's been happening. Sending stuff up that way, sending stuff down south into Santo Domingo and shit. I mean, we try to keep an eye on their movements mainly so we can catch them out, but more often than not, they're moving like a military. They're moving like they know what they're doing.
That's interesting. They might have some help themselves then.
The little guy pops in and says, I think Alpha is with Savoil. Shut up, Frank. It's not important right now. I'm talking to the big guy.
Yeah. If they're getting help from anybody else on the outside, which I imagine they are, there's no way they were this resourceful on their own. It'd be good to figure out who that is and try to sever that connection.
Frank pipes up again. I'm telling you, it's Savoil. I know it is. It's gotta be.
I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate that.
See? And then Bill kind of looks down at him. Okay, Frank, fine. If it's Savoil, it's Savoil. But he's basing it off of nothing, just that the guy is Russian. This Alpha guy. It's kind of racist what he's doing.
I mean, anything's possible. I don't know what Savoil. It's possible. I don't fucking know.
Frank would go, Savoil, it's kind of old company. They don't really do much anymore. They were a competitor with... And then Bill kind of turns and looks at him. Listen, Frank, it's not important, okay? He said it's not important. He doesn't know. He'll check into it, okay? Frank's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Is there anybody here in the camp that you guys have a problem with? Anybody that gives you a hard time?
No. Sometimes Amanda busts her balls, but she means well. She's just making sure we're pulling our weight.
All right. I'm glad to hear that you're happy with your home here, and I promise you I'm gonna do everything I can to keep that going.
All right.
All right. And I leave. I walk away.
Okay.
Fucking weirdos. Goddamn.
Yeah. So, what you pick up from them and, what you pick up from talking to just randoms is they were formerly a part of the Rappin' Shiv. They were wraiths. But all their people got blown out, and these people who remain are the ones who were like, well, I don't want to die. So they opted to, say, well, we're not with them. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
They're good cannibals. Well, now they are. Now they're good cannibals.
They used to, if you let Frank talk for a bit, he says, we used to be a big deal back in the time of the Red. We used to be a big deal. We used to be a huge deal. North Haywood was ours. And Frank's like this little guy. He's maybe 4'5".
Oh yeah.
Who do you want to go
Is
to
he
next?
from Always Sunny?
No. He's not a
Little Danny DeVito.
He's not a little trash man. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, he is. I changed my
I'm the
mind.
trash
He's
man.
the trash man. That's his handle, Frank the Trash Man. Who do you want to go to next?
The Steel Vaqueros.
All right. So the guy you walk up on, who appears to be their group leader, kind of looks familiar. Like there's something about him, and again, it's not like a, you can kind of see features in his face that remind you of somebody close to you. Like it's almost like he's the spitting image of Chino. Like he's kind of close to looking just like Chino. He's tatted up, but the tattoos you notice are very different than like what Valentinos typically would have on them. The only things that are basically the same would be the cross at the neck and the Santa Muerte on the back. But yeah, they basically are all kind of tatted up, geared up, and this is definitely one of the groups where it looks like the people who are holding the guns don't look like they know what they're doing, and that includes the big guy who kind of looks like Chino.
All right. Approach.
Hey, can I help you with something?
Yeah, I just wanted to introduce myself. Name's Hungry. I'm a fixer from the city.
I've heard of you.
Here to help out with the scav problem.
My name's Juan. Well, basically all that's left of the pack as far as leadership goes, but that doesn't matter because we joined the Faraways, so she's in charge.
It's good to meet you, Vaughn.
I would extend the handshake offer.
Yeah, he gives you a good handshake and then says, we understand that you've got some affiliations with Valentinos.
Very, very strong affiliations. That's right. Padre was good to me when he was around. Helped me build everything I have now.
So, our main issue is that we kind of try to keep ourselves separate from them. We back in the 60s, we all had common cause. We were all doing kind of similar work. And when the Valentinos kind of rose up as the cream of the crop in the Glen, we were there for them. We did what we could. But everybody who's a vaquero, they didn't really want to stick around and deal with everybody vying for leadership. We didn't even want to be in the city. And
Yeah, I get that. It was hard times for a while.
we made a shit ton of money taking cars from folks out here in the Badlands and selling them in the city. Enough to get us by. But when we broke off from them, we had our problems with the Raf and Shiv, just like everyone else. But what really fucked us was a situation where we were trying to help these kids get out of the city. A kid named Dalton and his girlfriend Summer. We wanting them to prove themselves and defend themselves too while we were making our way out. For whatever reason, we got attacked by Arasaka AVs. Now, all of us would have probably died if it wasn't for a group of edge runners that popped out of nowhere. Don't remember who the fuck they were, but there was a celebrity with them. Some crazy motherfucker named Thorn. Guy who runs with Diamond Gunk. It's wild shit. Craziest day of my fucking life, and the vaqueros got slaughtered. Almost to the man. Fortunately, we were able to backtrack and get to where we needed to go, which was here. And Amanda let us in. But,
What happened to the kids? Dalton and Summer.
there's Zero Dalton. Summer's around here somewhere.
It's a good thing those bunks showed up and, you were able to make it here. I think you guys have a lot of potential here in this place. Create something of your own.
Ever since then, though, we've been getting shit from the Glen. They keep telling us to come back. They've got something big going on. They're fighting 6th Street. We don't want any part of that. No point fighting over streets if you ain't gonna stay on them long.
I think this is an issue I can definitely help you with. As I said, it's no bullshit. I have good ties with the Valentinos. We trade in favors very often. It'd probably be nothing for me to ask the favor for them to leave you alone.
Well, right now, we're kind of in a bit of a pickle. Because we could go back to them on our knees, begging to help us save these other folks. Maybe just give ourselves up to them, help them with their problem after they help us with ours. Definitely know the 6th Street gangers aren't going to do likewise. Not after that whole debacle. They came out and helped with the situation. They lost some of their men, the 6th Streeters. And their leader, Gunner, said that Amanda owed them what they did. I don't disagree. We'd all be dead if it wasn't for them. But same time, I don't want the Faraways to be joining up with 6th Street killing Valentinos neither.
Yeah, and I'm sure you already know, at least Amanda's expressed to me, she has no interest in joining that war one way or the other.
Yeah, she's
I think
got a good
she's
heart.
considerate. Yeah, she's considering all of you, and when she makes decisions like that.
She's got a good heart. She let us in when we needed help the most. And, she's a bit of a ball buster. She definitely makes us work, but don't mind it so much, Not when it's coming from her. Okay, well, if you can get the Valentinos off our back.
How has your relationship been with Gunner since that day?
Haven't talked to him. He did his business and then they left. I think someone mentioned that they tried to kill Big Toe. Not that long ago.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he's a serious guy, so he wants our help. I mean, he's probably not going to be very helpful to us, or possibly even hostile towards us because we didn't help him.
Well, it is my goal to get everybody out here working on the same page. It's gonna be something necessary for what we're up against in the scares. Can't be different crews operating on their own, not communicating with each other. I'm trying to get everybody on the same page.
Well, if Amanda says we gotta follow you, and you're the guy with the plan, still the Vaqueros are with you. And if you convince Zoe to stop trying to call on us, then yeah, if the Valentinos are off our backs, double fold. You got our loyalty till we die.
It's a deal.
Checks on it.
Yeah. right, I appreciate this. We'll talk again very soon.
Gonna cut from you and back to the action.
I gotta let my dog out on my AFK for a minute.
Sure. Okay. So as you approach the scene, you do so quietly and kind of let the bikes loose, kind of drop them down before you kind of get to the scene. Your bikes are not going to be readily available at the building. Now, based on what you've gotten intel-wise and the information that you gathered and were told by Holly, there are 3 options building-wise, and I'll kind of zoom in a little bit so we can kind of see those. There's this building, which is the building she mentioned, this slightly taller building, and this kind of network of 3 buildings that's actually just one building. Which of these would you like to investigate first?
I imagine the closest to the camp would be the smart one to check first. I don't know how fortified these are. I don't know how good of a watch they keep, but
Sure. So what was mentioned about them is that this one here appears to be the kind of main one where they do like their doctory work. This one is believed to be just like it, but this one seems to be the main one. And then these 3 buildings, they're kind of, the best way to describe them, there's kind of like steps instead of like tall buildings. They probably only go up about like 10 stories at the highest one, and then kind of tear down to the one that's like at the lowest portion, which is probably only about 5 stories.
you're talking about the 3 that are in a line, basically.
Like it almost
Okay.
looks like they form like a line across where a road would be. And another thing to note about these locations is a lot of the ground level space. There's a lot of dirt that's kind of built up at where you would expect like entrances to be. And from what you can tell, it looks like there's like sand routes that have been built up, like ramps rather, that have been built up to balconies at kind of slightly higher levels. And those are where the entrance points are.
Okay. Well, as far as a missing person then, and knowing what scabs do, what could be a more doctory building is likely where we want to look for Scrapper and Ava?
Mm-hmm.
Ava?
Hesta.
So we're going in the medical building? Doctor-y building?
I'll check.
That
Just
would
any
be
kind of
my-
net architecture from the outside on that building.
There are no net architectures on the outside of the building.
What about cameras?
There do not appear to be any cameras that are visible.
Well, I don't see any cameras, so that's good.
Now, I'm going to send out a picture here. This isn't exactly the buildings you're looking at. This is just kind of an idea of what the buildings kind of look like, if that helps. It's not one for one, but basically, like, they're a grouping of different sized and tiered buildings, and as you can see, they're kind of built into the dirt, or rather, the dirt kind of fell in around them over the course of the last decade. And shout out to Sir MZK for the image.
All right, so we moving up.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. As you make your way up to the medical style building, you kind of make your way up that route. Holly stays back, and you see her pull out a long rifle and kind of holds her position there. And she says, as she connects with Big Toe on Hollow, she kind of connects with each of you as well through that comm communication and says, I'll maintain Overwatch. Once you get inside, I'll try and find a higher position so that I can watch you from building to building. Hollow will give your location away to me.
Be safe.
Oh,
Check in every 15 minutes or so.
You got it. Once you get up to the
Still
balcony,
on the bike, right?
no,
We're
you
still
kind
on
of
bikes or on foot?
you kind of stop the bikes and kind of make your way up on foot
Just making sure.
to maintain stealth.
Yeah.
Once you
Have you
get
ever heard of Fordite?
what?
Have you ever heard of the rock? Oops, sorry.
So you make your way up the ramp, and once you get to the balcony area, you would see that the balcony door appears to be a glass sliding door. You can see that there are several parts of the glass that look like they've been hit by small arms fire. And based on what you're seeing, I would say Kincaid and Grip would recognize this, and also Big Toe would recognize the glass as being bulletproof glass. It looks like there's a security terminal on the left side. You know, like a small section where you can hit a call button or activate a key input or that, and it also has like a small camera system on it. Now, what Squints notices about it that nobody else really catches is that it looks like this was placed here from somewhere else. So someone took this electronic security section and then installed it into a slightly less secure system so that it has all of the function of like the more secure door, but here at this place that's kind of like a makeshift higher location, but that's now serving as the front door.
I let everyone know it's a mock-up job. Does it seem like it would be easy to get past?
Oh yeah, it looks like you could
Any access to
probably, if you wanted to frag the whole thing, you could definitely do that. If you wanted to play their game and utilize it, you're pretty sure you could manipulate it as well.
Yeah, I let the group know either way. We're going in either way, however you want.
Well, if that's something they did to cover that window, we know there's activity there. We can't count on every floor of this building being usable. The state they're in. May you say what floor that was on, or was that one of the accessible ones?
So basically, the best way to explain it is it's technically the fourth floor, but it is the first floor that is above
The
ground.
ramp. The ramp access is that one.
Sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well just open it.
We going in the front door?
So, any questions
Okay,
about
any other way?
any questions about the glass door that you're looking at that I haven't
Can we
described?
cover it?
It is a glass door. Yes, you can. On the opposite side of the glass door, what you see is it appears that there are curtain rods, and hanging down from them are curtains, but they're not like what you would see in like a residence. Instead, it looks like they're the curtains that you would use to kind of cloister off a patient inside of like a doctor's room.
Mm.
Or a hospital, I think they're called.
Same thing.
This.
Stop laughing.
But that's all we see is the curtains.
Yeah, they are closed, blocking off sight inside.
Are the doors unlocked?
If you try them, they appear to not have handles. It looks like they are sliding doors that would be activated by the electronic security panel.
Gotcha.
And Squints has said, I can break the door so it just stays open, or I can play ball and open the door as if we are supposed to be here. But he'll have to do it on the way back if you go the safe route.
Do we see any other obvious points of entry into this building from where we're at?
Obvious, no. If you'd like to make a perception roll, we can kind of get some
Sure.
analyzation as to what is visible.
Is that everybody or
21.
just me?
Everybody.
I'm perceptive.
Okay. So Grip, you're kind of like
don't see shit.
you're kind of focused on this door, like the bulletproof glass. You're kind of looking at it, and you're like, okay, that's some pretty hardcore shit. Like, and you're realizing it's like Zeta Tech like styling for like AVs, like airborne crafts. So apparently they were doing like their due diligence to make this a secure location before everything happened and it fell out. Leo, Squints, and Big Toe. About 3 stories above you is what appears to be another balcony. And from what it looks as though there is like a rope ladder that's been piled up on the top of the balcony, like ledge. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then Kincaid, you see that, but you also see what appears to be motion up there. And you're pretty sure that there is someone on the balcony standing guard who hasn't noticed you guys yet. Keeping in mind, too, it is kind of darkened down a bit, so where it was like kind of purplish and orangey kind of like sunset, it's now kind of in that like deep purple twilight stage of night.
I'm gonna get Grip's attention. I'm gonna point him up to that balcony. There's someone up there. Think you could...
No, Kincaid spotted the person.
Oh, just Kincaid. Ooh,
Yeah,
sorry.
you spotted the rope ladder.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You're good.
I'm gonna point to the rope ladder and be like, "Hey, there's a rope ladder.
Think you can kill it?
Think you can get it down for us?"
Grip's like,
Think you can
hell
murder
yeah.
that silently?
Roll initiative. The rope ladder has 20 rungs. I'm going to roll initiative 20 times.
Oh my god, we're gonna get our asses handed.
The action economy alone.
Yeah.
Oh god. This is a slog, this building. We're not even inside.
We're not even
Every
inside
time
for
you
already
touch a
fighting
rung-
20 rung rope
every
ladders.
Every time you touch a rung, you take 1d4 damage.
66. It's electrocuted.
Oh god damn.
Yeah, and it ignores armor.
Grip's
We
got
lost
this.
Grip. He's strung up. But yeah, I'll point out that there's somebody keeping watch on that balcony. I don't know that we're capable of getting up 3 floors quietly to get him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
also
easily.
quietly. Also quietly.
Grapple hand.
Do you want to go for it, Grip, or are you going to...
He holds up the grapple hand and says I can go for it.
Can I see him?
No. Kincaid
Don't
didn't
go get
see
your
him.
grapple gun.
He saw motion that you guys didn't detect. Basically like a shadow here, or like a flicker there of light kind of catching, motion up there. Definitely not something anybody else would have spotted because you didn't roll high enough.
The last thing he would expect is somebody to drop in on him on a 7th story balcony. I imagine he's keeping watch in the area around this entrance. If you genuinely believe you can get there quietly.
It's what floor is it on?
It's 3 floors
We're
up.
on the 4th where the entrance is. He'll be on the 7th, 3
So it's-
floors above us.
Yeah, that's within 30 feet.
Yeah. Exactly within 30 feet. You want to go for it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the grapple hand doesn't need a roll, but because you want to try it stealthily, and you won't be
Yes.
able to do an action right after flying up there, go ahead and make me a stealth roll.
And I give him a luck.
1 point of luck from you.
Yeah.
Anybody
Is
else?
there a glove on the grapple hand that will soften the
It's just him.
Yeah, why not? I'll give him a look.
That's 3 luck?
I'm gonna use
No,
one of
I'm not
my
using
own
that.
as
2
well.
luck, 2 luck, 2 luck. 3 luck, okay, one from you. Okay, go for it. Okay.
Hey.
So what you realize is that the bottom of the balcony to the top of the railing, it's not really a railing, it's more like a buttress or kind of like a stone structure, right? You realize that it's a low enough gap that if you can catch the bottom, you can just reach up to the top and then pull yourself over. So instead of
Yep.
firing the hand up on top or over top of it, you fire it at the bottom, and it slams into there. But it's you don't hear it from where you're at, and you're pretty sure they don't hear it either. It's a very kind of just thunk, like a dull thud. But your hand kind of slams in and kind of and secures, and you zip up, and once you're up there, you realize there's no motion, there's no what was that noise or anything like that.
Cool.
What's your
Must
next
have been
move?
the wind.
I want to try and grab and choke him so he can't make any sound.
Okay.
If I can hop over the ledge and grab and choke.
Okay. So what I'm going to tell you is when you kind of pop up just a bit, what you'll
Yep.
see is that the balcony he's on, this is before you reach up and grab, it's kind of just like the quick inspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that the balcony he's on is pretty much identical to the balcony you were just at. Except that it doesn't have the electronic security shit, and the glass doesn't have bullet damage to it, and there are no curtains on the other side. Instead, what you see inside is it looks like a living room of like an apartment or something, and it looks like they have a big screen TV, and there's 3 individuals inside. One is not so much facing you, like it doesn't look like they're like straight looking out the window like this, but you're
Right,
pretty
but
sure
if-
that if you linger there for long enough, they might catch you.
Then instead of the jump up and grab, can I, like Assassin's Creed, yoink this thing off the ledge?
Go ahead and make me a brawling roll.
I'm going to use another luck.
Okay.
22.
So you folks are kind of looking up there. You see him kind of pop up like one-handed, and then kind of just drop back down, like he's literally just palming the bottom of the balcony. Then he lifts himself up, relinquishes the grapple hand, snaps himself up, and then pulls backwards. And you see him throw a guy over his shoulder, who flies straight down 30 feet and hits the sand near where you guys are. That you were watching.
Jump him.
Big Toe, you jump him. How do you jump him?
Jump him. Just beat the shit out of him while he's on the ground.
Okay. Anybody else jumping in on the jumping?
You're
Yes.
just gonna fucking jump this guy. He falls 30 feet, 3 floors down a balcony and gets jumped by 4 dudes.
Right.
Gotta get on the
I
hollow with
actually want to
Holly.
jack into him.
If you guys are attacking, so what I need from you, because he's already taken a certain amount of damage, I'm
I'm
not gonna highlight that, but I will say that when he hits, there's kind of a breathless kind of like, you know, the wind being knocked out of you. And you would also notice that like it looks like when he hit, a lot of the bone matter kind of distorted. Like, so when you hit sand, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but when you hit sand, it's a solid impact, but it's also kind of like a concaving impact. You crater into it. So like when he hits the sand, it's kind of like a him-shaped crater on the ground that didn't do much to help him kind of maintain his vitals. He's seriously injured. So Big Toe, if you're brawling, like if you're fighting him with like a melee weapon or something, just go ahead and make a brawling attack, melee weapon attack, whatever you got. Squints and Leo, are you two jumping in as well?
Do I roll
I
big,
actually want to jack into him.
Okay.
Do I roll big nuts or do I roll
Big Nux.
big nuts?
Squints, are you jumping in? Knife him? You're going to hit him with a 0 suppression knife?
No, I'm gonna just let it go.
Okay, you sure?
I get an ROF
Yeah.
of 2. Do you want me to roll twice? Or
Yes, I
once?
do want you to attack twice.
Oof. Second
Okay.
one misses.
And then Leo, you said you're jacking into him?
Yeah.
Okay, so the second that you kind of click, you realize he does not have a neuro port.
Okay.
So
Ruin my fun.
there is nothing to jack into on this scav. Big Nuck number 1 hits. Big Nuck number 2 does not hit. Actually, no, I have to roll evasion.
On the ground?
I have -2. Yeah, again, I'm not caught off guard. I mean, the wind's knocked out of me, but I mean, even
Are
so.
you sure you're not caught off guard?
Well, apparently the dice say I am.
The biggest dude you ever saw just tossed him off a balcony.
I rolled a fumble and I got a 7, so yeah, both of those will hit. So basically, you kind of like you try to jack into him, and you're like, he doesn't have a neuro, and then you watch as a Big Toad like kind of like straddles him, just punches straight down twice, and basically pounding sand is a bit squishier than you expected as you hear his chest and then like neck kind of break as he just murders this guy dead to rights. Up above, you kind of like, you know, you have your grip. You're looking straight down at the situation as it unfolds. Grip, and then you do kind of like a quick like peek over the top.
Yep.
It doesn't look like anybody's alerted.
I'm just gonna rappel down with the grapple hook.
Click, drop. Got
Yep.
it?
You throw down the ladder too, right?
Oh yeah, I can.
Okay. The ladder descends down. It hits the sand with kind of like a it's not wooden. It's made out of like a kind of like a hard plastic.
Well, I'm going to try and hold it
Oh,
and
okay.
grapple down so it doesn't hit the sand and make any noise. I mean,
Yeah.
just like to being extra cautious.
That's
like
fair.
an asshole.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made like alert sound. It would have just been kind of like a kind of dull plastic clunk. I was trying to say it for purposes of it's not made out of wood. It's made out of like a hard plastic. Okay.
Nothing is made out of wood.
Well,
There are no trees.
no, there are trees. There's still wood. It's a thing. It's just not. It's either really, really expensive or very noticeably not.
No, wood doesn't exist inside.
You got like the Joshua trees out in the fucking Badlands. There's all sorts of like crazy trees that are out there.
Who's Joshua.
The Joshua tree. You know what a Joshua tree is? Am I
Something
picturing-
to table is.
Hold on, I'll
I
post
don't
it.
go outside, John. I
I've
don't
never-
touch grass.
I've never been outside either. Posting it in
Sort of
RTB.
cactus.
This is a Joshua tree. Yeah, they're kind of cactusy.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, you
okay.
see those out in the Badlands all the time. I drive right through them.
Oh, that's what those are.
Joshua tree.
Joshua trees. But yeah,
So we
mission
murder this guy.
mission
Cold blood.
part 1, the first accomplished. You would notice his dead form. He has the scav like actuator that kind of covers his face. It looks like it was off. It was like on power saver mode. And then it looks as though he has a pistol at his belt, 2 extra clips for the pistol, and then he has clips on his like flak vest because he was wearing flak. It looks like they are sorry, not clips, magazines for because accuracy. They look like they're magazines for a Militech Ronin, which is a very common assault rifle in Night City and also the world.
Any grenades?
No.
Okay.
I'll check.
Wouldn't that have been funny if he hit the ground and they all went off?
You get a good sense of what their security's like this.
For
That would be
sure.
the worst way to go.
Or we'd all die because he fell right next to it.
Yeah.
Squints, I think we could just disable this door. I don't think we need to close it.
I'm down. We can do that, and I'll start working on it.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're starting it, I can help you. If you want me to do it, either one.
Nah, you're slightly better. You could do it.
Electronic securities.
22.
You pull out your tools, you kind of take a screwdriver, kind of pry it open a little bit, take a small little like flare torch and kind of pop a little bit, and then you kind of shut it closed. And at this point, are you breaking it so it's always open, or are you opening it so it's safely open so it doesn't...
Safely.
Okay. Just keep in mind, once you go through, it'll close, and you'll have to open it again somehow.
Wait. I'm sorry. Did Leo say break it open? Did you say break it? I'm playing with it. I think, wait, did you say break it open or make it open like normal?
I think break it. I mean, if they realize
cool.
that the guy's off the balcony, then
Okay.
they're gonna know something's
And yeah.
up anyway.
All right. I pop it so it stays open and it's broken open.
So like you're getting ready to flare it and like close it and hit the buttons, and you ask that question, then you kind of pull the panel with your fingers and just take the screwdriver and just kind of start jabbing at certain points, and the little sparks pop. The sliding door slides open, and then you kind of just pull the electronic security thing off. And if you'd like to add that to your stuff, that will serve as
I put it in my pocket.
that'll serve as 20 scrap for you.
Sweet. Do I have a place to keep scrap?
Yeah, so basically, you just in your notes, remember that scrap. Sorry, it's 200 scrap. I apologize. Scrap is basically just a numerical valued thing that equals currency you can use for tech shit.
Put it in your scrap hole.
I'm putting it
Add
in
it
my
to your
hole.
scrapbook.
Yeah. I can't give you inspiration in this game, okay? Stop being so
That's
funny.
okay. I don't need it. I don't need it. I got friends and luck, and
Yeah, all that
for some
stuff.
reason, 2 points of entry into this building now.
Just put it in your scrap hole.
Well, technically the one above is not a point of entry yet, okay? There's still people up there.
Sure.
Okay.
3 guys watching TV. That's some tight security right there.
Holly states, I'm repositioning. I should be in a new position within 10 minutes. And she will move. You are entering into the building. When you pull back the curtains and enter into the space, the first thing that you're hit by is just a wave of like the most nasty smelling air you've probably ever smelled in your life. Inside of this room, what you see are a series of body bags and duffel bags, all kind of set up in spaces. And in the back corner, there's a large device that's activated and going that appears to be a large meat grinder. What you very quickly realize is that the body bags are not filled with... They're not all filled with bodies. Some of them appear to be filled with the remnants of what comes out of the device.
Sausage.
The sausage is made here, yes. I would like
I'll
everybody...
immediately start looking at body bags that are not on the meaty end. You know.
I would like everyone to make a concentration roll.
Awareness.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
you all did sufficient. DB on this was 11.
Yeah.
Great. So what you're realizing is that this place is very sickening, and people with like less of a gut and less of like a mental acuity for violence would probably have walked into this area, and it would have affected them in a very negative fashion, not just physically, but possibly mentally.
We're all good at violence.
Well, yeah. Apparently, this is a walk in the park for you psychopaths. But yeah, as you kind of walk, the thing you'll notice though is despite there being quite a bit of blood on the ground, there is a perfect walking path right through the center of the place that leads to the front door of the apartment you're in.
Can I get the
Go ahead.
Militech purses out just in case?
Yeah, you definitely pull your pistols out and your weaponry if you're walking into a hostile area for sure.
Okay.
So,
I want to check body bags. Unless you're saying they're all filled with fucking ground beef.
some of them are not. If you're kind of going through and checking them, it's a situation where it's not going to be a quick effort. As we understand, many hands make light work. Do you want to have someone help you with that? Maybe 2 people help you with that.
I mean, people can. I'm just starting.
Do we know who we're looking for? I mean, they have a picture where we could identify her if we need to.
You've all been sent the picture of Asta, I think, at this point.
Okay. Then, yeah, I'll help look for her, see if we can identify her.
Sorry, also the picture of Scrapper. Let's not forget Scrapper. He's also
Okay.
there's a picture of him.
He's an important person and not a scrapper.
Right.
He's capital S scrapper.
Right.
I'm gonna check the sort of entries into this build-in from the rest of the building. Make
Okay.
sure that they're secure in their search.
Okay. So it looks like there was kind of an apartment here with multiple rooms. The rooms look like they've been broken out. And you would notice that like the entirety of the apartment space has now been kind of formulated into one room. As they're kind of moving about, there's one sound that kind of causes you to focus in. Besides the grinding sound, you would see that the section where the bathroom is located, it looks like the faucet is broken off the wall, but there's a nice steady stream of water. Not like gushing, but like a nice steady stream of water coming out of where the faucet was, and it just kind of trebles down into the kind of floor panel and the shower grate.
Okay.
So I
Bathroom's
found
otherwise empty.
Yeah, it basically there's no toilet, there's no sink. It's all been busted out. It's just broken tile and shit.
There's just a stream of running water, not
And there's just a
an
stream.
obscene amount, but
Yeah, it's like
steady.
it's like a nice little waterfall of fluid. Let's see what happened here. Okay, fixed it. Joe somehow repositioned.
Cameras
it.
get scrambled.
Yeah, Joe somehow repositioned. I don't know what happened.
Ah.
No biggie. Okay. So, and then there's the front door. The front door is closed, but it's not fully closed. It's like lightly kind of off of its. It's not shut. It's just slightly kind of ajar. Not enough that you can see out of it, but slightly kind of ajar.
I think Kincaid would post up there while they conduct their search. Just sort of keep an ear out for any activity in the hallway.
You can hear what sounds like voices, but not very loud. It's like very far away or dim, or there might be kind of like walls or something in between you and them. If you'd like, you can attempt to make a stealth check to peek out.
I think I do, yeah.
Smart. Okay.
15.
DV was 13. Good. So you kind of, place the barrel of the overture, kind of pushing it slightly open. Outside of the space, you see a hallway. The hallway kind of has like a flickering light to it, and all along the ground, you can see what appears to be kind of like streaks of blood on what appears to be a construction worker's kind of like grating that has been laid over the base insulation and like stonework of the floor. The sound is definitely coming from the left side, basically where you're kind of looking. And with that stealth roll, you kind of pop the gun out just a little bit, kind of peek out just a little bit to the side. And what you realize is that, for whatever reason, there is a dead end on the right side. So like the hallway ends here. Outside, you're kind of middle of the building. So there's definitely more building to the right. It's just for whatever reason, this hallway terminates here. Across the hallway from you is another door. And then down the hallway about 10 or so feet, there's a space where a door was. And it sounds like the sounds are coming through that broken door across the hall to the left.
Does the dead end, does that look like part of the initial construction of the building?
Yes.
Okay. And what was this building?
It was supposed to be
Was it always a Conapt? Was it always?
Yeah,
okay.
It was supposed to be a Conapt, but then they gave up hope on it and it got taken over.
Gotcha. This just happens to be where that wing ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give them a couple minutes to search and just maintain eyes down that hallway.
Okay. Inside, the search continues. What I will note is once you're done looking through the bodies here, there does not look like there's anybody that you recognize. Actually, sorry. There is exactly one person that you recognize. And I'm just going to throw this out there. It's one of the old guys that was in the scav haunt where the tunnel was located. If you don't think your character would have recognized them, then they don't recognize them. But it is one of the old guys that was like high off their ass alongside the guy who was also drugged. But he ran away and apparently got recaught.
Even if I recognize him, don't give a fuck.
It's not who you're looking for. Right.
I'll move to join Kincaid.
Okay. You relay the information that you got on the outside. Leo, as you kind of peer out, what you'll notice is that there does appear to be a net architecture somewhere in that area.
But no access panel or anything?
What you're realizing is it doesn't have remote connect. It has to be manually. Oh, this goes action packed. I didn't realize this one, but yeah, it does look like this would be one that you'd manually connect to. You'd have to personal link it.
Okay, but I don't know where that is yet.
Right. We're not in a fight.
If they're done with this room,
Yeah.
I guess I'll start moving down the hallway.
Okay. So once you get out into the hallway, you're now kind of moving down toward the left. On your right side, effectively, would be where the broken wall, where a door was, and where the sound's coming from, and also where the signatures of the net architecture are coming from on the Virtue. On the left side, there's another kind of blasted out door wall. And what you're seeing is you kind of move up to it, is that inside of that space is just more charnel, more dead bodies. But these look like they're the dead bodies that have already been processed through the grinder.
Yes.
Just like nod my head to the right.
And then the hallway continues on.
Sorry. Left would be towards the exterior of the building where we entered, right?
Correct. More
Correct.
charnel. Yep.
Okay.
And then interior was
Turning
sound.
right would bring us further interior into
Yep.
the center of the building. Okay,
And it would
just
lead
making
you
sure
to the
that.
sounds and also the traces of the net architecture. And then, if you were to continue down this hallway, it looks like all of the doors going down this hallway. The best way to describe the hallway is like the floor's constructed, right, and it looks like it is. It looks like it's in the state of being built. It's like beneath the carpet, beneath the tile, what that would have been like, right? And then each door past those initial two broken doors, the doors are boarded up, and they're boarded up from the hallway side. So it looks like people were locked in there, presumably. Or something was locked in there, presumably. Subfloor.
Okay.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, it's subflooring.
Would I be able to tell how many voices I can hear from outside of the right door?
Make a perception roll.
Let me do that a lot.
And Leo, if you'd like to do likewise, I can also give you a piece of information regarding the neta if you get high enough.
20.
Anywhere between 3 and 5. You're not sure. And then yeah, Leo, you're kind of like there's a big detective in the way. I can't see shit. It's a big dick in the
about other
way.
stuff. You get inspiration.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
I'll use it against my Friday crew. So 3 to 5, based on what you rolled there.
Signal for grip. We might need to get the jump on these people.
Okay.
I
Grip
don't
comes
know how
out.
quiet we can be.
Grip comes out into the hallway, and if you've seen the Cyberpunk Edge Runners cartoon, Grip being in the hallway, it's kind of like Maine being in the hallway in that scene. Basically, the man is like his shoulders are broad enough that he's nearly touching the walls. Like his body is kind of like framed down to kind of just stay kind of not scraping the ceiling with the top of his head.
I'm behind that.
Behind them. Yeah, if bullets are coming down the hallway, you're protected as fuck. Well, for a little bit. I mean, once we get through the meat, then it's all squints. Okay.
To get through the meat. Squints is already halfway back to the box.
So they're kind of moving forward. Grip and Squints. Go ahead and make perception rolls if you want to try and focus in and try and see what's you're coming up on. Okay. So similar to Kincaid, it's anywhere between 3 to 5 individuals in that space.
I count the bullets in my gun. 6. We're good. No. I thought it was funny. Shut up.
No. I'm not sighing at you. I'm sighing at the situation.
I'm not laughing. I've just focused. I'm just focused. It was funny. I gotta be the guy.
I don't know if it froze or something, but it was just like staring straight. I was like, "What? Nothing? Okay, fine. Screw you guys.
No respect. No respect.
That's the
I'll
funny
see
part.
myself out."
And then out from the charnel side comes a big hook. It just grabs Squints and pulls him in there. JK.
Get off the table.
Fudge.
It punches in there, yeah. Fresh meat.
Oh, I haven't played
Quiet.
that game in a long time.
Yeah.
Quiet is the dream.
So are we moving into the room?
I'm open to suggestions.
Grip is stealthy. He's got this. Go on. Go.
You can move past it too. It looks like, I mean, you can go. There's an end of the hallway, so there's doors along the hallway, but it doesn't just end. It kind of circles. You know what I mean? It looks like it goes inward as well. I thought I mentioned that. So, like at the
If I
end of the
can get
hallway,
to
there's a
the
turn
net-
right.
I can get to the net architecture in here, then I might be able to just speed this along. But it's in this room on the right.
If you can get past and get close, give it a shot. If things go wrong, I'm in there.
You two want to advance in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
So go ahead and give me. I already got a stealth check from Kincaid. If you want to re-roll it, you can, or if you want to stick with the 15 you got, you can stick with it. Your call. But I need a stealth check from Leo.
I'll hold the 15. I think that's adequate.
So the two of you kind of maneuver into this kind of broken apartment area. And what you realize is very quickly, is it looks as though the back wall, so you're coming in through the front door, and it's similar to the other space where it looks like the walls have been broken out and it's kind of unified the space, right? The difference in the bathroom, though, is that there does appear to be a sink and a faucet here. There's a lot of blood on the ceramic of the thing, so it looks like it's been used to wash blood off quite a bit. When you come into the space, the hum of a refrigerator is very clear to Leo. It takes Kincaid a second to pick it up, but Leo, you're very familiar with refrigerator tones for reasons. And then you would see that the back wall is broken out, and it looks like it was an adjoining wall, or rather, it looks like it was like a wall between two apartments. So you're basically seeing a reverse of what you're walking into. On the other side of the broken section, there's a table, and there are two guys seated at the table, and one of them has an old style, like, walkie-talkie, like, you know, handset or that he's speaking into. The reason why the perception checks DV was just outside of it was 21. You rolled a 21, but you needed a 22 to get it. They're talking to a third party, but the third party's on a handset. And it sounds like there's another person right there in the room. You would then notice that the door to this space is also broken out, and there are two guys outside of that space that are chatting. So there are a total of 4 people with a handset being used to talk to a 5th person. Leo and Kincaid, seeing the situation, Leo, you can move in closer to get behind the refrigerator if you want. Kincaid, you are absolutely certain with what you're wearing, because I'm assuming you're wearing the typical Kincaid fit. If you walk into the space, you would know your limitations. If you want to move in, you can, but you would know that if you do, it's probably not going to be good.
Do any of them have a neuroport?
Yes. All 4 of them have neuroports.
Oh, them. Sorry.
And in addition to that, all 4 of them appear to have linked hollow, and there seems to be a tracer that you haven't path found, but you see that it's kind of going off somewhere else.
Can I jack into one?
Yeah.
Whichever one's closest is fine.
Roll interface to see if you're detected or not. Do you want to spend luck?
No, well, I was thinking, like, how far away is the closest one?
Probably about 15 meters.
So with that that item I bought. I'm blanking on the name right now. If I'm within 10, do I get +1 to the interface roll for this as well, or is it only like quick hacks?
So
Oh, no, it says breach too. Yeah.
if you were within 10, you would be, yeah, but you're not. You're with 15.
If I get closer to the fridge, will that put me within 10 or not really?
No, you'll probably be like within 12 at that point. Again, you're going to be in apartment 1, and they're in apartment 2. So like the whole of the apartment lengths are what's dividing you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, because I have to jack into ping, right?
Correct. And again, if you want to spend luck, do it before you roll.
Nah.
Okay.
Can't beat a 10.
Hold on. Target's will plus D10. What the fuck? You see the guy you tried to jack into kind of like look around. There's someone in my netta! And he looks at the others, and everybody brandishes weapons.
Well, luckily, though, it's still success. I'm still in, so I still get to do my shit.
But they are aware of the presence of someone. Kincaid, you see them kind of like take action. So I'm assuming that Grip is behind you guys out in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And behind that is Squins. Okay? So I know that right now we're just looking at we're looking at the map. I do not have a combat map for every single section of this building, just the important ones.
Fair.
This was not one of the important ones.
Why are we even playing this game?
Jody's ready to fucking leave.
My immersion.
And then Big Toe, I'm assuming you're behind Squints. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, since we don't have a map though.
Pause for a second.
Immersion is
Big Toe.
ruined, you guys.
Sorry, Jonah, roll me a D10.
D10.
Okay.
Two.
So, in the time that you've kind of like assessed, it's been about 8 minutes, and you haven't gotten a contact back from like checking the bodies and all that. You guys have only spent about 8 minutes in this process. So, you haven't gotten a call from Holly. She's not in position. Okay?
Okay.
And then...
Good.
She's still on the hollow, though, right?
She's still on the hollow, 100%. There's an initiative ticker. Boom, 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 boom. Hungry's over there. Kincaid, Squints, Leo. Oh, Big Toe. Where's
Where the fuck is my gun?
Big Toe?
Wait, you never had him on the map.
Yeah, I did.
What? Yeah, we had him on the map somewhere.
Who's missing from the map?
It's Big Toe.
No, I'm not on the map.
Yeah, I
What?
know.
You never put him on the map?
I did.
God dang.
Is he under somebody
Big one.
else? He's not. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do that.
Oh my god, from a 31 to a -1.
Wow. I don't know why it won't let me select my token,
Hold on.
but I rolled a -1.
Is
I
that
give
gonna
him
work
some
every other round?
initiative.
What does that mean? Did I shoot
just-
myself in the foot?
So real quick
I
note,
started by rolling my ankle.
on your sheets, folks, your luck should have reset at the beginning of this session. So yeah, you should have had max luck at the beginning. So if you spent luck, make sure to deduct that. But if you haven't spent luck, you should be at full luck.
Alright, I'm at 7.
And you were not able to select your token, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
You are magnet. Try it now. Oh wait, I see what's going on. Hold on. Try it now.
Yeah.
And then you should be able to... Bam. Alright, I'm going to remove the names there. Cool. And then I'm going to scav. Alright. And turn 7.
You said it was 4 guys talking into one handset, or
One guy
each
with
of them has
one guy with a
walkie-talkie?
handset, and he's kind of holding it out to the other guy he's talking with. So it's like 3
Got it.
guys at a table. One of them is a walkie-talkie, and then there's 2 guys in the far, like in the entrance of the other apartment. And when the guy says, "What the fuck's going on? Someone's here," and then kind of gets up, all 4 of the guys who are present here are drawing their weapons. The presumption is that he said that while pressing down the call button.
Walkie-talkie.
Yeah. Okay, so Kincaid, you're first.
Wow, I didn't even get my other 3 net actions, Joe. That's cool.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So, Jack in. You are in. You have 2 more net actions. Go ahead.
I have 3 more, sir.
Oh, 3 more, sorry. And because of that, we're going to
That
start...
means you can kill all of them.
Because of that, we're going to start at your initiative. So that means that they will be going sooner.
God damn it.
I mean, I could try to drop
This whole
2 of them.
surprise round situation's boned me twice.
Stop rolling so good.
Well, if he had said nothing, we could have forfeited those actions and not had...
Or we could just say this exists outside of initiative, because god damn it.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, see? Exactly. Alright, yeah, so... What did they all pulled their weapons at the same time?
Sorry?
They all pulled their weapons out?
Yeah, again, drawing weapons is not a big deal.
No, that's fine. But, like, are they all holding the same thing? Is it different? What is
It's a smorgasbord of random shit. It's mostly SMGs, but it looks like the guy with the walkie-talkie has a shotgun. And by shotgun, I mean a crusher, a Militech crusher.
Is that the one I jacked into?
Did you say you wanted the guy with the walkie-talkie?
I said whoever's closest. I don't know what was closest.
Oh, so it would probably be either him or the guy he was talking to. Go ahead and just roll a d10.
It's fine. I'll just jack into the other one, too.
Okay. That's your second net action.
Yep. And then I'm going to try and puppet the guy with the shotgun.
Okay.
Or actually, I'm going to move up within 10 meters.
Okay, so you're moving out of cover.
I mean, is there anything closer? Or is I'm going to be just out in the open?
Yeah, the 2 points of cover that are solid between them and you are the refrigerator and the space behind, like the broken entryway, which Kincaid is currently in.
Yeah, wherever's for cover is fine.
Okay. That'll work?
Yep, and then I'm going to try to puppet the other one as well.
Okay. That'll fail?
TB12.
TB12. That'll succeed. They don't have... Right. They're not Kangtao cool kids. Okay. So you're puppeting them both to shoot one another or shoot themselves?
I don't know. I'll figure it out on their initiative.
Okay.
I pass.
Big Toe. So it definitely sounds like something's happening. You can move through your allies normally, but because of the tight situation, I'm going to say that grip is definitely blocking space.
Okay. Do I see the enemy?
No. So there's Squints in front of you, then there's Grip, then there's Kincaid, and Kincaid's at the door, and it's just barely kind of like peeking around. So you're coming at it in a hallway, and it's an apartment building, so you'd have to come around the corner.
Okay. Alright, I'll go around the corner.
I will note too, again, you can't. Grip's in the way.
Yeah, I'm blocked. My bad.
What I will note, just so we make sure this is very clear, the door frame and the wall around it are broken out. It appears to have been mainly constructed with drywall and plastic 2x4s.
I see. So I could bust through it if I wanted to.
Right. You could just break in Kool-Aid style into the apartment. That's correct.
I would like to roll a Kool-Aid Man entrance, please.
Okay. Yeah, so no rolls necessary. If your body is a 6 or higher,
my body's huge.
You slam into the wall, you hear kind of a break, and then you can see that the 2x4s kind of splinter off to the side. The plastic that they're made out of isn't like a solid ream plastic, it's more kind of like a chip plastic, and they shatter outwards. And you are inside of the space. Your action was to break through. You appear directly behind Leo in this room, and if you'd like, you can drop to cover behind the refrigerator as well.
I would like to do that.
Okay. All right, it goes to them. So you are puppeting them to shoot themselves or shoot each other?
Well, they haven't seen any of us, right?
They just saw him break through the wall.
Okay, never mind. All right, yeah, I want the guy with the walkie-talkie to shoot himself
Okay.
first.
I'm going to have you roll a d10. Because I'm not letting you have my good rolls. Okay. He will hit himself. And he's shooting... Wait, sorry. He's shooting himself just normal, like body shot?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then that'll hit. And then the other guy?
We'll also shoot the walkie-talkie guy.
Both on the walkie-talkie guy. Smart, smart, smart. Okay. Go ahead and roll another d10. That'll hit as well. Okay. I'll do my own damage.
My crit.
No crits. They are using, as I mentioned, submachine guns, except the guy with the crusher who shot himself in the chest. When he turns the gun on himself and shoots, you realize that the crusher fires only shotgun shells. So he shoots himself and it kind of just sprays out onto his chest. It looks like his Kevlar armor does fine in blocking the damage. And then the other guy shoots him in the chest and it looks like it gets through the armor a bit, but it doesn't kill him.
Question.
Yes.
All right, I'll be right back.
You said the guy he hacked was the nearest one. Is that the one with
No,
the
he hacked both of them.
walkie-talkie?
Yeah, he's got both of them. But it's only
Okay.
it's only for the one turn. Puppet only lasts one cycle.
But the walkie-talkie was the guy nearest us?
They're kind of equidistant.
Okay.
They were both
I'm
sitting
just
at the
curious
same
if
table.
that shotgun shell acted like a normal shotgun shell and hit anything else
it
around
does,
him.
but remember, they're like 12 meters away from him and 15
Okay.
meters away from you. They're long apartments.
But they're all huddled together, is what I was saying.
That's right, that's right. Well, again, he shot it back at himself and he was facing his friend, and then the other guys are at the door, which is more like 20 meters away. So,
Okay.
yeah, they're going to brandish their SMGs and kind of come into the space. Again, only aware of grip, they're going to auto-fire at the refrigerator. And they're not trying to kill Grip. Or, not, sorry, Grip. Big Toe. Wrong big guy. They're shooting at the refrigerator. They're trying to blow out the cover. So let's see what we get. Okay. So with the heavy SMGs that they're firing with, Big Toe and Leo, both, because you're behind the same cover, they just start unloading like crazy. And it hits, the first couple hits you can kind of hear like thunk, thunk, thunk. And then it starts kind of breaking and piercing and pieces start kind of falling off. And there's like a loud splash of water and like a rush of cold against your feet and ankles as bits of ice fall out. And you can see like a body with bullets in it kind of slide out as well. You're up, Grip, on your -1 initiative. You're an all-star. Zach? Zach? You're muted if you're talking.
Yeah, I am. Sorry.
It's okay.
With a move of 8, can I get to the walkie-talkie guy?
So 8 would allow you to move a total of 16 meters, which, yes, if you go through the hole that Big Toe just made, that's perfectly valid.
Fantastic.
Okay. And I don't know if you caught this, Daniel, but the two guys that were in the doorway moved up, so now they're close to their friends, and then they shot at the refrigerator. They broke it, so you no longer have cover, and a body spilled out with a bunch of ice and water.
Okay, was it a body I recognized?
Right now, in the heat of the fight, it is a feminine form. You cannot tell the face features or not. You then Grip rushes in through the same hole that Big Toe made, comes in, punch, 2 evasion rolls. Yeah, that's not happening for me. And my Kevlar's already damaged by my own shotgun. Or no, sorry, by my friend's submachine gun. That'll work, actually. So you rush in, and you just kind of bring both fists down, You smash the guy through the table. It breaks the table clean in half, and there's just like a meaty kind of like faux wood kind of like chipboard smash of man that kind of splinters his like blood and body all into the floor. He dies. You're pretty sure you got the walkie-talkie too.
Yeah.
Like his entire top half, actually for more fun, slams it onto him. Walkie-talkie breaks. His shotgun goes through his back. Like it goes through his front and comes out his back because he was pointing it at himself, and you just did one of those on him. Okay.
Do I have any movement left?
No, that was exactly enough to get to him.
Cool. Then yeah, that's that.
Okay. Kincaid. Situation: walkie-talkie guy dead. Guy who's probably about a meter or 2 meters away from him on the other side of the table. He's still alive, and he's got an SMG. And then the two guys who kind of came in from the door have SMGs as well, and are kind of turning them towards Grip.
Okay, I'll bail inside. I want to try to intercede between the refrigerator and the bulk of them, if I'm able to.
Yeah, absolutely. Do me a favor.
I'm guessing I watched the fridge like fall apart.
Yeah.
From gunfire.
Absolutely.
If I was watching.
You kind of hop over the fridge and kind of like the splash zone. There's some ice on the ground. There's no like comical like unless you want to kind of like do like a slight, one of these because there's ice on.
Yeah, I'll do a little slip.
But then you kind of just drop your foot down, brace, and I'm assuming taking a shot.
Yeah, we'll headshot. Anyone, whatever's the nearest one.
Yep, it'll be the guy who's across the table. Take the shot. -8 to the roll, plus bonus for Rio Bravo, etc., etc.
-8 plus 4. I have the.
You got it with the
targeting.
minus. You got it with the -8. You're fine.
Sick.
Because the targeting skill +1 would put you at a 14. Perfect. Okay, and then 1d6 extra.
Oh, neat.
Oh, it won't matter for critting, but yeah. So, okay. 15 to the head. He's not wearing a helmet. 30 to the head. The Malorian Overture, and you just watch his head just get stove clean off. Just a gout of blood from the, remnants of his neck, and he falls to the ground. SMG kind of spiraling in his hand.
This was supposed to be a stealth mission.
shooting at the ceiling. Okay. Squids. Kincaid. Everything that was blocking you is out of the way. If you want to move in and take shots, you can.
I'll roll in behind Grip and kind of come out around his side and pop at the closest one. We're gonna also go for the head.
Now, I'm assuming he's in like a combat squat, right? Like he's kind of like dropped down and then bam.
Yeah, just hide behind Grip though.
Love it. You said you're going for the head on these?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is not a 9. That's sad. I get a +1 to my roll for my first attack.
23 is solid. Yeah, that's hitting.
Oh, I'm did too many. Is that it a 9?
It's just
because I crit on 9s and 10s.
So, it is not. It's an 8 on the 23.
Bummer.
But that is going to hit 10 to the head, 20 to the head. He's still alive. He's got 5 left. And then the second one, is there any other bonuses that are going to this 19 that I'm not aware of?
During the first round of combat, the modified weapon gains a +1 to attack rolls and is considered to have rolled a critical success on a natural roll of a 9 or a 10 for attack rolls.
We got an 8 and a 4 is what we got on the rolls. But on this 19, so we're at a 20. -8 would be 12. You need a 13 to hit. I don't think that second one's getting through. Actually, hold on. It's got the +1 for excellent quality already. Do you have Rio Bravo or anything crazy?
I don't believe I have that. I don't know what that is. So
that's just a solid miss then.
I have my targeting scope and stuff.
+1 for the targeting scope wouldn't make it. Yeah, you're at 21 with that, and you needed 1 or 2 more, I think. So, bang the first one, it kind of clips him in his brow, and you watch it kind of like take a nice chunk of meat off with it. And then the second shot, because he takes the shot, kind of moves his head to the side, and it just narrowly misses. Leo,
Grip.
The 2 targets that you had jacked into no longer exist.
Yep.
You're still technically jacked into their neuroports. I will allow you to use things like ping if you'd like.
I don't think it's really gonna matter. But can I just do a perception check, like in the middle of this, to even see if I notice who fell out of the fridge?
Yeah. So if you want to use your turn on that, you can.
Well, if it was something, I was literally just gonna drop everything I was gonna do this turn. But if it was random person,
Sure.
that's why I was
So
wondering if it was like a free thing.
When you focus in on the woman on the ground, and go ahead.
No, I'm still engaged with these people. I just didn't know if it could be like a passive thing. If it was like something that caught my attention, I would just stop.
Yeah, because
when
she spilled out, it was kind of like someone falling out, a dead person falling out of like the bottom of a coffin. They just kind of splashed out on the ground, very goofy, and like their face is like down, their body's down, their butts up in the air.
Okay, no, this is fine. I'll just jack into the other two.
Okay.
And move up to be within 10 meters?
You can.
Would that put me as the closest, or
No, definitely not. You can be behind Kincaid, or not Kincaid. You can be behind Grip and Squints. You can basically form a Congo line with those three, or those two, and then you've got a nice line, and you're within range.
Wherever cover is fine. But,
sure.
And then,
Grip is cover.
The one that has not been shot yet, I would like to just system reset.
Okay. Roll it. I think you need a 12 on this. Failure?
So feel that. And then I'll ping from the other one.
Okay. So when you ping, what you'll detect is that there are the two corpses. There are the two individuals you already had linked. And as I mentioned, you had the tether that was going up. And when that goes up there, you see it blossom into 7 other individuals that are directly above you. And that seem to be moving towards what appears to be... what you would assume is like a stairwell, but you can't see the architecture. You just assume based on where they're moving and how they're moving, it looks like they're getting ready to descend.
Okay. Do I have time to just say that we have 7 more coming?
Yeah.
From upstairs? Okay. I'll pass it on. Good.
Big Toe.
Can I shoot?
Mm-hmm. There are 2 targets.
And
they're both the same. The walkie's dead. Yeah, he got his entire body shot off by hands.
All right. I'm gonna shoot the one that looks more hurt.
Okay.
With
the guy who got headshotted by Squints. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him again.
Go for it.
19.
If it's just a straight shot, not to the head, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Just a shot.
Okay, and 7's enough to kill him. He did not have, or he has Kevlar armor, 7 resistance effectively, but 7 gets through. He had 5 left. He falls to the ground. And second shot? Or no, this is a very heavy.
No, only one shot. Yeah. Only one shot. On the next round, it becomes 2 shots.
So the last guy, looking at the situation, is going to move back into the hallway, and you see him pull something off of his belt and then toss it into the room. Everybody who has reflexes 8 or higher or a reflex coprocessor needs to make an evasion roll. If you don't have those things, you're shit out of luck.
Fighting. Evasion.
I have a grip.
Grip is not going to help here. Grip is not going to help here. I'm blowing up the entire room.
I'd like to invoke the rule of grip, please.
Okay, so do you have a reflex coprocessor or a reflex of 8 or better? No? Chody?
No, I have evasion really well, but I don't have that.
You don't have a reflex as 8, so yeah, you can't dodge explosions. Okay. So
yeah, I can't dodge anything. It kind of sucks.
Kincaid,
we'll get you the coprocessor soon.
Kincaid, Leo, and Squints, you're going to be taking...
Bummer.
So it's going to be a total of 24 points of damage. Your armor is going to count for it. So, wait. But your armor is going to be halved, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, because, yeah. Wait. Reading is fundamental. I had this. Their armor...
And we're all in range for this grenade.
Yes.
Okay.
You all moved into a Congo line. Kincaid, you were You're far enough back. You didn't actually move up, so Kincaid, you're out. Sorry.
I'm not arguing for myself. I'm arguing for the party. Since I don't have a map to prove
See,
where
didn't
we
you say
are.
I was
Right, no
further away
map.
than Kincaid?
Jeez.
The other,
You said you're under grip, like you're huddling
the
under
other-
Grip's little
yeah.
haunches.
I'm gonna say that the other four
Yeah,
are definitely close enough because Jonah said that he was moving into shoot, so he'd have to kind of cycle around to kind of get a shot. So he'd have to be close or around Grip. Hold on a second here. This will probably be the last thing we do for the session. I just want to make sure. Will not damage a target behind cover. Okay, hold on. I did say Grip counted as cover. Okay, so the situation is as follows. It will not affect the person directly behind the cover, but it will affect people not directly behind. So the Congo line is not infinite. Because Squints is not cover for Leo. Grip is cover for Squints. Okay?
I said, just put me in cover. I'm hacking. I'm just throwing that out there.
In gunfire cover, I'll grant you that. But for explosions, I can't. I can't in good conscience. I'm trying to be nice. He didn't get a roll. I'm just trying to be nice. Okay? So, let's see. And his cover's not moving. His cover is moving, so no, he doesn't have cover. Because evasion means you're flying out of the explosion range. I will say, Grip, if you want to not move out of explosion range, you'll take the explosion damage, and Squints won't, and Leo won't. I'm going to be fair. He did say he wanted to be in cover. You're right.
I don't think I'd be aware of them behind me.
Fine.
I think you would Grip
That's
would
fair.
instinctively dodge the explosion.
Yeah,
You know?
that's fair. Okay. So then damage-wise, 24. It will treat your armor as half. And once you've taken damage, after all the damage is dealt, it will ablate your armor twice.
Okay, so that means we need to take down both our head and body armor twice.
Head's fine. Body only.
So take it down twice?
Just the body, yeah. So body will drop down by 2.
To 9. Got
Yep.
it. And then how much health do we take off?
24,
So it's 24
minus half of 11.
So 5.
So it's either 18 or 17.
Sorry. Round down. For,
19.
Yeah, 19 damage to...
You're taking 19 points.
Okay. When the explosion happens, the guy...
And who all was taking this damage? I just want to be...
So
I'll play along. I'm happy to take it.
You never said you moved forward. I should not have included you in the bit because you were 10 meters out. So it would have been Leo, it would have been Big Toe, it would have been Grip, it would have been Squints. But because Squints doesn't have the reflex or a coprocessor, Leo failed and Grip succeeded and moved out of the engagement zone. Grip, are you moving towards the guy who threw the grenade?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay,
100%.
go ahead and make your attacks because that'll be the end of the fight, I think. And right on time as well. So I'm going to roll my evasions. I will not dodge either. Okay, and yeah, he already had some damage, right? Yes, he's dead. Okay. Immediately after the grenade explosion, and everyone kind of is connected. Leo, your ping is still connected. You would see that they stop in the stairwell. They don't know what's happening down there, and they seem to be kind of like waiting. They're not advancing. They're not coming to kill you like they initially were. It seems like they're in defense in the stairwell. And at that moment, you look down at the body of the woman who spilled out of the thing, kind of damaged and wounded. It looks like she was far enough back because she was still in the refrigerator side. And you would recognize that it is the body, unconscious, not dead, but definitely slowed to a near cryostasis of Asta Goldsmith. And that's where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did, and we will see you next... Wait, actually, we might not see you next Sunday. We'll discuss that off camera. Keep an eye on whether it's good or not. All right. See you then. See you when we see you.